Now, I'm sure you've seen the California wildfire GoFundMes posted by influencers and actors getting more attention than the GoFundMes of your average poor nobody.
Yes.
Which is just a cold, hard reminder, once again, of the importance of building your personal brand.
You're a brand whether you like it or not. And building that up to be leveraged for your crowdfunding campaign can literally be the difference between life or death.
We live in an attention economy.
We do.
And I know people might be thinking, I value my privacy. I don't want to be an influencer. But when catastrophe hits, you're going to be competing with GoFundMes of people who've been putting in the work, posting content daily,
Studying the algorithm,
starring in movies,
building their network,
curating the goodwill necessary to crowdfund your life.
and it's not just your home that's at stake.
Nope.
Life is full of surprises, whether that be your pet dying, a car accident, or a life-saving surgery. When it comes to crowdfunding your fate, you're going to thank yourself for being proactive with an active content strategy.
When I see someone who lost everything post their GoFundMe only to raise $250,
Pathetic.
it saddens me. It really does. But people don't want to invest in someone that chose not to invest in themselves enough to even buy a ring light or download CapCut on your phone.
That's the real tragedy here. Look, from the moment I get up to the moment I go to sleep, I am posting every interaction, every thought, and every relationship. Look at Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag.
Yes.
They have even been able to leverage the disaster to be incorporated into their active content strategy.
You do not want to be left praying to God that someone else with a successful brand includes your GoFundMe in their video in a random act of charity. And that's why right now we are going to be offering 25% off our brand building course, teaching you how to be your authentic self.
No excuses and no better time to start than now. Just use the code California at patreon.com/theboyscast and we'll show you exactly what you need to make sure your GoFundMe doesn't leave you homeless when the next disaster strikes.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The boys cast.
The Boys Cast. What a week. What a week.
What a week.
TikTok is shutting down. Los Angeles is on fire. Palestine might be over. Hugh Jackman is divorcing his fat wife.
What?
Yes.
Not the Jackman.
The Jackman. And if you remember with Hugh Jackman's fat wife, his fat gross wife.
Right.
Well, that was one of the big things that everyone kept posting. Like, look at this. People talk about, people care about looks. Look at this. Jacked. And he was,
Teed up.
We know that Hugh Jackman was a drama guy,
Yeah.
but then he turned into Wolverine. He's walking out here with an 8-pack,
Yeah.
and then his fat, gross old wife was behind him. And everyone was kind of saying, like, oh, yeah. It's a lot of people.
Kumail Nanjiani's wife's sweating right now. Fucking sweating bullets.
Well, that's what everyone was saying, right? Because they were kind of like, a lot of people were saying, like, oh, Hugh Jackman's going to leave her now that he's a jacked man.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, you don't know what love is.
Yeah,
You don't
Pierce
know
Brosnan didn't leave his wife.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, Pierce Brosnan's leaving the wife?
I don't know. No,
I
Hugh
think Hugh
Jackman's the one
Jackman
leaving,
is.
but I think they might both have fat gross wife.
Oh, I don't know.
Hold on. Pierce, what is it?
Brosnan. Goldeneye.
Wife.
Because he was the one who took tons of shit, and he's like, this is my wife of 40 years.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, so I think the Hugh Jackman. Okay, so that's Pierce. You're right. It was Brosnan that was taking the heat, but
yeah, he was
Jackman
taking the heat.
Hugh Jackman was getting some heat as
No,
well.
I'm looking at a photo of Hugh Jackman's wife. She looks like she just aged out. She doesn't look. No, she's not like.
No.
She's.
I remember Hugh Jackman was getting it too.
I got a photo of the wife right here.
Johnny, get a photo of
She's
this
just
while we're
his
talking
age.
about it.
She committed the cardinal sin of being.
Oh
his
yeah?
age.
How about this? What about this photo?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, biggest celebrity couple age gaps. No, Jackman was getting heat before too, right?
Oh, okay.
No, she looks okay there. She's done up there.
Yeah, the face. I mean, literally, she looks like she has like staples in her head that's holding her face. Like,
yes, well, that's true.
that
So
going
actually, I take it back a bit about Jackman because that's totally fine. But there was a point where she was looking beat and everyone was fucking on Jackman's
looking
ass.
beat.
No, people were on Hugh Jackman's ass about it. Do you remember that? Johnny remembers it. I didn't imagine this. So Brosnan was getting it too. Jackman was getting it too. And when a big A-list celebrity has like a, kind of like a, and for a normal mom anywhere else, it's like you're going to be 40 pounds overweight. That's what they look like.
Oh yeah, like dude, slap like a Leafs jersey on both of them,
Right.
and you're like normal Barrie, Ontario family.
Oh, totally.
Total normal couple. Nothing wrong with it.
But once he started being Wolverine, it was like, this guy became a heartthrob. I know that he's really in his normal life singing and dancing to musicals.
Yeah. He's doing lots of big.
Yeah, he's walking around the house being like, "Hello, Jackman's in the building." And she's probably annoyed with him. She's just like, "Fucking, we told you to sing in the garage."
That must be tough though. It's like if he has like Google alerts set on his name or whatever, and just everyone is just like, "This guy should leave his wife. She's gross." And he's like, "I love my wife." And he goes, "Yeah, but she's gross."
Well, turns out he didn't love her.
Turns out it got to them.
Time beats all, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So
Time is
Jackman,
undefeated.
Time is a little bit undefeated.
Yeah.
So, anyways, people have been saying that forever, and it finally came to fruition. TikTok might be going. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the fires. I know that it's lots been going on. I got some inside info too.
Oh, really?
Not very good inside info. Just talk to people in California. Inside scoop right here on the BOYSCAST. You're not going to hear it anywhere else.
Yeah.
From the insiders living there. The news doesn't want you to.
I mean, there is one upside.
I said we're talking about TikTok.
Oh,
first.
we're talking TikTok. I already got banned from Rednote.
Yeah. So. Everyone forgets that Danny's such a fucking bad dude.
I know. Well, I literally made an AI video of Xi Jinping to see, like, wondering what's gonna fly on what's allowed on there. Apparently, you're not allowed to make AI content of the supreme leader of the Chinese Communist Party. They don't have a real sense of humor about.
Well, that's what happened. They go, TikTok's out. There's this new app, and you can't get banned from it. And Danny looked in the mirror and he goes, "Try me."
Yeah, and the problem is that they're like, it's all in Chinese. Like, that's the craziest part about the whole thing.
It's the number one downloaded app, though.
I know.
I downloaded it. I have a follower.
Yeah, you have a follower, but it's so insane because, like, so I posted the video. It got like 4 views. I posted another video, this Gavin Newsom video, and then all the comments on there are like, "We don't understand."
How do you understand the comments?
Because they're in English, but then they were like, "I don't know."
Translated? Why
I have no idea. But there was all these comments that are like, "Good video, but we don't understand this."
Yeah,
which I don't understand. Again, like I don't, because they were typing it in English. I don't know if it like translates or what. And then so I posted the Xi Jinping video again, knowing that it would nuke my account. I just wanted to see how long it would take.
Yeah, but at the time you had the fucking birds up to the world.
I mean, I had 0 followers. 2 likes. I was like, it's not a huge loss.
Danny walks into his computer room with
bad to the bone. Bad.
That's definitely the soundtrack playing in your head when you're making your AI videos. 2 middle fingers up, 2 birds up, and then after Danny got banned, you started a crypto scam.
I did not start a
Hawk
crypto
Danny.
Hawk Danny. No. It's not a crypto scam.
Oh, you did talk about the scam after.
But anyway, we'll get to the crypto thing in
a lot going on, man.
But anyways,
it's coming. Information's coming at you right and left.
So many things.
I'm gonna try to keep the train on the rails, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, but anyways, so they like say your account's under review. They give you this thing, and there's like a status bar, like the Domino's Pizza like delivery thing, which is different from TikTok. It's just basically like we're reviewing the thing.
Yours must have been fucking edging, eh?
Well, but it's yeah, and then it was stuck at the end for a while as they were like literally like it was like someone in an office in Beijing was like, "Is this cool? Can we allow this?" And they're like, probably they had big meetings.
Danny's gonna be making new merch of his fucking just a screenshot of his bar just at the breaking through the thermometer.
But then the thing is, it's all like the page, like the appear page, is all in. That was a joke. It's appeal page, but
appear page,
appear, because that's how they say it in China.
Up here,
guys, if you would you like to appear your penalty?
I'm not a freaking Rednote aficionado to know the terms.
Come on, you know the whole thing with the R's and L's. But anyways,
sure,
yeah.
However, I'm not
a good joke. But anyways, it's like the whole thing, the appeal page. It's all in Chinese. So you're like, it just has this whole write-up, like, which is essentially what TikTok would say, like, would you like to appear? And then it's all in Chinese. So I'm like, I don't even know.
I have a theory that a lot of things are bad because America's turning Chinese.
Yeah. And it is funny because
Chinese are turning Chinese. I really think so.
Yeah, and then it is funny.
Intellectual property has been, because TikTok became the #1 app. Intellectual property's gone.
Yep.
And you have a lot of, it's kind of You know my theory about how hot girls, when they enter something, it means the culture's over? There's also...
What happens when Chinese girls enter?
Well, it's actually similar to that theory, but it's sort of at the same time when tech guys enter a culture, you can kind of say it's going to be done.
Yeah.
Like if there's like a
they do
band that
jujitsu?
everyone likes and all the tech guys, they're like, we love this band, they're the best. I feel like that's going to be over a little bit. And I think one of the things is they know how to make product market fit,
Sure.
but they don't actually know, they're not really the product designers as much.
No, that's
And
a
I
good
think
point,
one of the reasons is the sort of tech world is very about like open source code. They don't have like the same value of intellectual property. They sort of in some ways admire China. These guys like Elon Musk admires China. Zuckerberg, they're a little bit Chinese. That's why they all get Chinese wives in Silicon Valley.
Sure, sure.
It's not a fully fleshed out theory, but I'll tell you what, like right now, AI in the last like 6 months, the number, and especially in the last like few weeks, the number of like fake messages from fake accounts have like exploded.
Yeah,
and obviously it's AI, but it's feeling very much like we live in China.
Yeah, well, I mean, I sent you and JJ that AI chick on Instagram, and she had 100 Patreon subscribers, and she wasn't even a real person.
Yeah, it's a fake person.
It's a fake person.
It's
And
fucking
then the simps
simps.
are just like, more, please. I'd like to see more, please. And you're like, it's not even a real chick. It's like some fucking
Lay off! This is my
It's
girlfriend!
literally a 16-year-old in Mumbai who's just like killing it right now, making fucking hot AI white women.
That's my girlfriend. You're talking about
her.
Yeah, don't talk about my
But the
girlfriend.
Rednote thing's
like
funny
that.
because you're like, basically racism's cool on there.
Oh, they love racism.
But all the gay trans shit is like not okay at all.
Well, they just don't want you to even mention it.
Nothing. It's
They're
like-
not like, you can't make fun of it. They're like, I don't want you to mention that it exists.
But the problem is there's all these commies who are like, TikTok people who are basically like, low-key crypto commies who are going over there being like, oh, finally a space, but then they're all gay, right? So they're like, finally like a safe space for us communists. And you go, yeah, cut the gay shit though. And they're
yeah,
like,
no
what?
gay shit though.
They're like, that's like my whole identity next to being a communist.
No, it really is.
no
It's
gay
like
shit.
commie shit's good, no homo though.
No homo. Like that is
None.
like the
pause.
big time. They should.
If you want to, well, that's everyone when comedians go over to China and they're just like, oh, I want to, I'm going to do jokes. Like, one thing you ain't going to be talking about all that dick you suck.
Yeah, definitely.
Ow.
No Tiananmen Square.
Did you know that Tiananmen Square, I don't know if that was our chat group or what, or I read it somewhere, but apparently Tiananmen Square originally it's like has a lot of connection to the Chinese protests where they're trying to kick out the black guys.
Oh, really?
Do you know this, Johnny? If you mind looking this up to see, just confirm what I'm saying.
I mean, Tiananmen Square is not a thing that ever happened, so I don't know if that's.
Well, apparently what happened was there was all these there was a lot of like African dudes that were coming through, and
In the 80s?
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And then
That's probably like 5.
it wasn't a ton, but they were going to the school.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And they were banging the Chinese ladies.
Oh.
And the Chinese bros were kind of having a problem with this. See, Nanjing anti-African protest.
Oh, so that's how it started.
Well, it's not how it started.
But that was like
but basically, this became like a big protest movement, right?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of guys there, basically out there being like, "No black dick in our chicks," right?
Oh.
And they were kind of saying like, "We got to stop getting these guys at our schools," all this sort of stuff, right? And big part of it was that they were smashing the girls. And then those guys,
two of them, literally 2. This is like. It says there's 2 African students who are entering their campus at Hohai University in Nanjing with 2 Chinese
there's
women.
too many for the Chinese bros.
This is literally like the fucking like the anti-segregation shit in America, where they're
Right.
like,
So apparently the connection is these guys, this became like a pretty big movement. The people were protesting on campus. And then after this protest, you have this big group. They started kind of getting involved in other movements. And apparently a lot of the people from here were also involved in Tiananmen Square, to the point where some of the guys do you know how like when you go to a Black Lives Matter rally, you're going to see some Trans Lives Matter
Of course.
signs?
Yeah.
There's a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
Apparently some of the guys that were protesting, black guys banging their chicks, were holding those signs at Tiananmen Square. And there's like pictures of the Tiananmen Square guys post with their like signs that were like left over from their last protest. So that's the connection. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, it says 300 Chinese students, spurred by false rumors that a Chinese man had been killed by the Africans, broke into and set about destroying the Africans' dormitory, shouting slogans.
Well, that's different than what I said.
Yeah, well, no, but it did start with the start of it is 2 Africans and 2 Chinese women were seen walking together.
Okay, so I was
Yeah.
kind of right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's some.
Interesting.
I'm not. Don't take me at exact face value, but there's some connection.
Yeah.
And loosely, it was like they got a taste for protesting, and they're just like, well, maybe we're protesting.
What else? Yeah, right. And they go, what else can we protest? You go, how about your heavy-handed government?
I mean, that's if you can stop a whole group of guys from banging your chicks, you're like, we're unstoppable. people.
Yeah, for sure. You're like, what else can we do?
How about independence?
Sure.
How about no Chinese guys banging our chicks? How about that? How about, yeah, exactly, right?
Not the worst.
I'll tell you what, they didn't like white guys banging their chicks either. I don't think they were a big fan of anyone else banging their chicks.
They're very much China for the Chinese.
Yeah, isn't the Tiananmen Square Hong Kong?
No.
What's
It's in
Tiananmen
Beijing.
Square?
No, I've been there. It's in Beijing.
What was the Tiananmen Square protest?
In Beijing?
Yeah, but what was they protesting against?
I think the government. That was the whole thing. It was like an anti-government protest, and then that's the whole thing with the guy on with the tank, and the tank apparently ran the guy over, and you can't talk about it in China.
Yeah, I know, but what was the original thing there? But like you're just saying they're protesting the government doing what?
Oh, I don't know. I don't specifically know what they're. I don't know if it was like a general government protest, if it was like taxes or what specifically.
What were they protesting? Yeah, they were the death of pro-reform Chinese. Yeah, it was the Chinese Communist Party.
I think they're just protesting communism. Yeah, it's just like basically in inequality. It seems like they were just like, they changed their whole economy or whatever from like
I feel like I should have known this.
Yeah, from like a blended, they were communists and then they were like blended capitalist communist thing or whatever. And then some people.
So these guys are like hardliners.
Yeah, and they're like, this isn't helping us. There's all these people who are like kind of getting left behind.
Doesn't that sort of line up though? They were hardliners, and they're also like, and we're hardliners on people banging our chicks.
Yeah, and they wanted. They were highly disorganized. Their goals vary. The students called for things like rollback of the removal of iron rice bowl jobs, greater accountability, constitutional due process, democracy, freedom of the press, freedom of speech.
Okay, so there's that. Well, anyways, the amount of women that have been like sending me fake messages with 0 followers is a quadrupled.
Yeah.
It's out of control.
Yeah, I keep getting this message where it's like, "Hey, you're cute." It's like, this is message me on my backup account so my boyfriend doesn't find out. And then I'm just like, give me your boyfriend's fucking Instagram. I need to talk to this guy, you fucking whore. This is not cool. It's not about
okay.
this shit.
Hey,
Give me your boyfriend's fucking Instagram right now.
Hey,
I gotta speak with him.
He messages the boyfriend. Hey, girly.
Hey, man, I got bad news for you.
I didn't want to have
Your girlfriend's got a wandering eye.
And honestly, I don't blame her. Obviously, you've seen the Polish shock.
Yeah,
I mean, they see how many platforms I've banned for you.
Bad.
You know they like the bad boy, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's been happening. And then, okay, so I went on Rednote, and basically I saw a lot of like Ronnie Chang, like Marcelo.
Yeah.
It was on there like a ton, that kind of stuff. Like, big American celebrities were kind of popping off.
Sure.
But I found that it sucks because no one's liking my videos, but so I think it's broken.
And it's all in Chinese.
It's all in Chinese and it's broken.
Hard to use. You're like, you can't like just run this through an AI and just convert the language. So it's like a little usable. Like it's like an extra fuck you. They go, hey, like here's.
Well, they weren't expecting this to happen.
I guess because like Zuck went base, and then people are because you naturally think, oh, TikTok's done. Go to the thing that's the most similar to TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah, well, Zuck, they're not going to be happy when Zuck takes the fucking CEO of this company and puts him in an armbar.
Oh, dude, fucking Xi Jinping rear naked choke.
Do you know? He probably walks in there to meetings right now. He goes, feeling a little feminine energy in here. I smell.
Assemble my boards, and they put all the boards up. He just goes, breaks all the boards.
He goes,
next week it's concrete cinder blocks. Don't fuck around.
Now you're ready to negotiate. My final offer to buy the whole kit and caboodle for $300.
Anyways, it seems like Trump though might do an executive order on Monday.
My theory was it feels like Trump wouldn't want this because he doesn't, as much as he does piss everyone off all the time, like, obviously he's a controversial guy.
Sure, you could say so.
You could say that.
You could say he's a bit controversial.
Well, my point is, I still think in his mind, he likes to, his version of the story is like everything I do, everyone loves.
Well,
right?
that was his main thing because he was the original guy in his first term who said we need to get rid of TikTok because the CCP has all these back doors and has access to all this data. And then now he's like, I'm pretty popular on TikTok. I don't know if we should shut this thing down. He's like, you see how many views I get?
But I also, that's
literally what he said. He goes like, I get so many views on TikTok. Like, I don't know if we should shut this thing down.
What? Everyone's been there, man.
Yeah.
You're just like, this fucking app's, wait a second.
Yeah. Wait till they switch the algorithm on you there, Donald, and that thing will be executive order shut down the next day.
Definitely.
But the thing is like, again, if they're like, the people at TikTok, they go, maybe they're playing fucking kind of 4D chess here, and they go, dude, we like, juice his algo so hard, like everything goes like extra
Sure.
viral, like no restraints on anything.
No question.
Trump related, and then we know that his ego is so big that he'll be like, I can't shut this down.
Definitely a good theory.
Yeah.
But my point is, I think he wanted to bully it where, you know, they make a deal and it becomes an American company. But I don't think if right now TikTok's just done and it was like Donald Trump's the guy that ruined the platform and everyone's mad about it, I don't think he likes that.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. But again,
that makes
this is a
sense.
Joe Biden thing. This isn't a Donald Trump will save it, but he's not like this will be one of Joe Biden's.
You're probably right. The news will probably
accomplishments.
blame it on Biden and not Trump.
I mean, well,
If it's good, they'll give it to Biden. If it's bad, they'll blame it on Trump. What do you?
right. Yeah.
He's got his paws on it. That's for sure.
I mean, Biden's taking credit for the Israel Palestine deal. So
I know that I've seen that.
Even
Joe
though-
Biden walks in, he goes, "Is that a fucking joke?" Yeah. Biden wasn't happy.
He gave a little mission accomplished. George Bush, mission accomplished.
No, he definitely wasn't happy. Biden was because they were just like, you know, does Donald Trump have anything to do with this? He goes, "Are you fucking
Who? Donald who?
You gonna be fucking
Nah,
kidding
dog.
me?" Yeah, he had a bit of a nah dog energy.
Yeah, he goes, no.
Yeah, Trump saying it was him.
It's all
Biden
me.
saying it was
I
him,
mean,
yeah.
it just conveniently just got kind of wrapped up.
Did
3
yeah.
days before.
And Donald Trump was out there kind of making pretty big threats.
I mean, Donald Trump literally had this guy, like, I can't remember what his name is, this guy from New York who's, like, been in Qatar just, like, negotiating this thing on behalf of Trump, so, for, like, weeks now.
Yeah, Biden trying not to have
And Trump is the guy who's like, if this isn't resolved by the inauguration, he's like, there'll be hell to pay and all this stuff.
Yeah, and then
I mean, it's obviously
lo and
Trump.
behold,
Yeah, it's obviously Trump. but-
Biden was not taking a nap the whole time. He woke up like one of those. Woke
sir.
up. What year is it? They
Yeah,
go, "Is Palestine still happening?" You go, "No," and he goes, "Good work by me."
Good work, yeah. We did it, gang.
Yeah, we did it.
Good work.
Anyways, if you guys don't mind, hit the hay again. Definitely has a nightcap.
I can
on.
never get...
What are the chances that Joe Biden does not have a nightcap and a lantern?
100%.
He walks around the
Full
White House
Mr.
with a
Burns.
lantern,
Full
right?
Mr. Burns, yeah. I can never get past the fact that he looks exactly like one of Jeff Dunham's dolls. Like the old man, Walter or whatever. He looks exactly like Walter, like a dead ringer.
Let's pull up Walter.
Pull up, well, he looks like, I haven't seen this comparison been made very much, but he looks exactly like the Jeff Dunham doll. Walter. It's insane. You can throw it. I mean, you could just throw it up after the fact. But anyways, you can check it out. Jeff Dunham, Walter.
He's struggling. He's on Ahmed right now. He's kind of does look like that, yeah.
Looks like Walter.
Walter. Okay, so before we get into it, tell me about the crypto scam. So this is what
Not a
happened.
scam.
Hawk Danny.
Hawk Danny.
Danny.
No. I'm not selling any.
That's how bad boy he
because I don't want this to
No,
be
no,
like
I know. I'm obviously.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
kidding.
basically give the short synopsis.
I was going to sleep last night,
Dude, it was
and I'm
the-
looking at
it
Twitter,
was
and I'm
insane.
just watching Danny's in a space. He's got a new car. I go, what the fuck is that? What the fuck's this weirdo up to
the
now?
whole thing was insane. Okay.
AI Danny's out of control.
Okay, so some of you know, some of you don't know, or whatever. So I do 2 call-in shows: Low Value Mail, The Bathhouse, Monday night, Tuesday night. All right. So on Tuesday night, we're doing The Bathhouse, and this regular caller calls in. He's like blacked out drunk. Okay, like he's literally like the drunkest call. Johnny, right? Johnny's the producer. Drunkest call we've ever received. He calls in and he starts like rambling, and then he was talking about the fires, and then he's like, he wanted to like bet on Polymarket on the fires or something, like some sort of bet, and then he's like, we should make a token called Jew Bear, and it's like the California bear, but it's like because the Jews set the fires in California and make a token, and then I was just like, okay, like when this is done, I'm going to go on. There's this thing called pump.fun where you can make like a Solana meme token in like literally takes 1 minute, right? So when I go home, I'm going to make this token, just whatever, right? And most tokens, like nothing ever happens with them. So then I forget to make the token when I get home on Tuesday night. And then on Wednesday, yesterday, someone just tweets just replies to something I posted. I think it was from a clip from the show. And they go, hey, where's that token? And I was like, 1 minute. So I go over to pump.fun. I go into Grok. I do the prompt that the guy said. It's like, because it's like a bear with a yarmulke and a bat or whatever. I go and I type it into Grok. Grok spits out the thing. I just pick the photo. I make the thing 2 minutes. I buy $10 worth of it. Because when you make a thing on pump.fun, it says, do you want to buy any? You don't have to buy any. But I was like, I had like this one Solana account. In my wallet, I made $10 worth. And then I just replied to him on Twitter. I didn't even post it. It was just a reply. And I go, here you go. Right. And then I was like editing some video or whatever. I come back like 10 minutes later And I posted it in the Patreon too.
So in your mind, it was like $10 for a joke.
For a joke, and I was just like, whatever. And so I posted in the Patreon, hey guys, like the low value man Patreon. And I was like, hey guys, here's the token. I made it in case anybody wants it. I don't know, right? Come back 10 minutes later, someone's like, the market cap is $2 million right now. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I don't know how it happened. I have absolutely no clue because again, I didn't tweet it. I just replied.
You didn't call people at the Jewish head office?
I didn't call anybody at the Jewish head office. I did not call like anybody at the central bank. Nothing.
Did you not say, Hebrews do your thing?
No, I didn't call up BB. Nothing. None of this. And then it just went.
Polish shucks thirsty.
Dude, it just went fucking crazy. Like my Twitter, like my feed was just like nonstop. And I think because there's so many bots in the crypto space, so then anytime anything gets posted, pump.fun, bots show up, and then all these people showed up, and then I have it got as high as $4 million market cap, and the whole
you started
time
this thing as a joke, and within 4 hours, it's worth $4 million.
Within 2 hours, it's worth $4 million, maybe even 1 hour.
But you only own a tiny little portion.
I own, yeah. Like I literally bought $10 worth. I could have bought like half of it, but I'm not even the top 20 owner of this.
So then naturally, the next thing is you start doing a Spaces.
No. So then everybody's like, well, here's what happened. And then so my fan.
All right, guys, it's Danny Bullshuck. I'm going to bed.
Hey, it's Danny the Moon Boy. It's Moon Boy.
All right, Moon Boy. You're wearing the astronaut outfit.
Yeah, I got the full shirt. It was like I changed my profile picture.
Anywho, I'm Danny Bullshuck. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Well, no, the first thing I did. So what happened is, so then, because my wallet address, my Phantom Solana wallet address, it's public, right? So then this is what happens when you when a coin pops off on pump.fun, people go and then they make copies of it because they're like scammers. Dude, they're scammers and they want someone to be confused and to buy their coin. So then these people, they went and they sent me like 2 different people made a version of, it's called Jew Bear. And then, and this is Slav, shout out Runaway Slav. This was his idea, right? This is his, so then they sent me 2 different people sent me 500 million tokens of their one, but because
of the fake ones,
but people were like buying those too, right? And so then
what did they want for you to tweet it?
I guess because what happened is,
did you?
No, I didn't tweet it. I didn't know where it was going. The first thing I did actually is I texted Shkreli. I go, yo, what should I do here, right? And he's just like, I'm going to bed, right? He goes, I gotta go to bed. Like he's like, message me tomorrow or whatever. But I talked to him for like
tomorrow. You know how much is gonna happen in the next 2 hours,
dude? Yeah. And then so I went in this space.
CoffeeZilla's fucking gonna have his eyes on you.
Dude, $1 million. Dude, they made 10 different tokens of my dog, Connor. There were 10 different Connor tokens. Someone sent me like 500 million Connor tokens. They made one of my wife. There's a Heather token.
Oh my god,
dude! There's literally like they made like all these ones of just like me. Like there's fake. There's ones of my dog that's not even a photo of him, but then they found photos of Connor. So there's like it's like his photo as the token. But anyway, so then they were like, people are like, you got to do a Spaces. There was like 1,000 people in it, and they were essentially like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like I literally like I don't know what I made this as a joke, and they were like, yeah, that's like the best thing. Like the best tokens are just made as like a joke. Like you're not. And I'm like, I barely own any of this. I made it as a joke. They're like, can you just say you won't sell it? I'm like, yeah, I'm not selling. I went and they were like, go rug all the fake ones. Because basically what they want to do is they go rug all the fake ones, because that way it'll send them to zero, and then take that money and go buy more of your token. So I did that. I went and bought like
what have you got yourself into?
I went and bought like $5,000 of my token, even though I put in $10 of it, and then I like rugged those 2 tokens. Took the proceeds, which was like $5,000 or something.
You made $5,000
off of the fake ones
that they gave you.
That they just
so you went from like, I'm gonna post this joke to I have $5,000 within like an hour.
So this is the craziest
part. For the people listening at home.
This is the actual craziest part. So I at one point, now this is like, because it's not liquid, so this is not real money, but at one point my Solana wallet had $25 in it, okay?
Yeah.
When this started. At one point last night, it had $130,000 in it.
What the fuck?
But it wasn't real because had I sold it, like when you go to like rug the coin, like you get like 10% of it, right? Because it's not liquid.
Because it sells it all down.
Because it sells it all the way down, so it's like it's not actually liquid. But like my Solana wallet said, how you have 130 grand, and then like 2 minutes later it was like 80. Like I lost $50,000. I'm like, but I was just like I was totally unaffected by this. It was ridiculous. And so anyways, and then they were just like, yeah, rug the coins, put some of it back into the Jubear. I did that because they told me to. I guess I don't know. I was just like pretend money. So
You're their puppets. What's happening here?
Whatever. Anyways,
They got Danny dancing, man. They shoot the floor. They tell him to jump. Danny's crypto community tells him to jump. He says how high. Fellas, this is a PSA for anyone who rents, which is myself and DP included. If you haven't heard of Bilt, you're about to thank us because earning points on rent is now a reality when you pay your rent through Bilt. You don't even have to check with your landlord to start earning points that you can use towards flights, hotel stays, fitness classes, even your next rent payment. Let me break it down for you here because there is no cost to join Bilt. As a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and your everyday spending. Before we even talking, Danny was telling me.
Yeah, I literally use Bilt. It's great. You basically just pay your rent through Bilt. And the biggest issue for the longest time was that for people who are renters, when you pay your rent on time every month, you don't build anything towards your credit history. They essentially have figured that out. So when you pay your rent through Bilt, which I do, you actually build credit, which is great because that's been an issue for a lot of people for a long time.
So Bilt points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, even the ones you haven't heard of. There are 500 airlines, 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Bilt points towards. Points can be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Bilt members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? So start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbilt.com/boyscast. So sign up, learn more, start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbilt.com/boyscast. So check that out at joinbilt.com/boyscast. Boys, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. And when you're putting your underwear on, you want to be looking all right. You know what I'm saying? You want to be showing that piece off. You want, and there's nothing that's going to do better to make you looking aight, making look swelt, make you look, just aight.
Pack in.
The Meundies, we're talking contoured pouch and ball caddy that packs you up nice. Woo! Perfect thirst trap to get the mood right. Choose from tons of awesome Valentine's Day prints and styles to match Meundies with your special someone for an extra special holiday treat. So they got style for everyone, from all black classics to fun expressive prints. Meundies has a look for everyone. They also got the sexy, good looking V-Day prints like electric hearts, lovebirds, plus they come in all sizes, XS to 4XL, guaranteeing to flatter your cut for every body. They got versatile loungewear. Meundies isn't just about underwear. Explore the lounge collection featuring joggers, hoodies, onesies, and more. Unmatched comfort because Meundies has got a signature fabric that is like a warm hug from your favorite sweater. We're talking breathable, stretchy, oh so comfy, making it great for all day wear. Problem-free philosophy over at Meundies. Not happy with your first pair of undies? It is on Meundies. So I've been rocking the Meundies. Gotta admit, they do actually give you a boost. They're looking good. They feel good.
Nice.
This Valentine's Day, good things come in big packages at Meundies. 20% off your first order with free shipping at Meundies.com/boyscast. That is Meundies.com/boyscast for 20% off plus free shipping. Meundies, comfort from the outside in.
So I did this Spaces, and they were like, "You got to make merch." I'm like, "You guys can make merch. I'm not making merch."
You know who I am? I'm the king of this whole thing. You think that I'm the one who makes merch? I tell you to make. You tell me to make merch.
No.
I tell you to make.
I'm
merch.
like, go make merch and make money off of this. Like, I don't care. I'm actually down quite substantially on my Jubear purchases. I think I'm down like 50. I'm looking right here. Down 50%. But anyways, not financial advice. That's the key thing. I do not need to end up in some sort of hawk to a situation. If you want to buy it, buy it. I'm not selling it.
But you're saying you could see why people get involved in this fucking ruckus.
Dude, I mean, do you know what Fartcoin is?
No.
Fartcoin was made on pump.fun like maybe 3 months ago. It has like a $1.5 billion market cap right now. Like, there's people who have made literally tens of millions of dollars
with this garbage
from just making fart coin. But the thing is, literally 99.9% of the tokens
don't do anything,
are worthless. Like nothing happens with them. They like nobody buys them.
Sometimes you catch a buzz.
Like I can make one right now in 2 minutes. Like it's just like it's nothing. Right?
This is something else.
And so, anyways, and so then they were all like, and then I made they were like, make a community on Twitter, like one of those community tabs, and I like made one, and then so I don't know. I'm honestly like,
I mean, you're like
know.
Kramer walking into this,
dude. This
like,
was so Kramer. Like I was just like. The whole thing was the most bizarre shit because I was getting literally.
And it's a world that you've never seen before.
Dude, I was getting hundreds and hundreds of messages being like, you need to do a space right now. Like, you need to address the community. I'm like, what community? I'm like, what is this? But there's, and then on pump.fun, because this Jew bear coin took off. So then, like, I went on there and, like, all the new tokens were all just Jew related. Because people are like, oh, there's money in Jews. Jews a big market right now. So then it was all like, it was like trending on pump.fun was like Jew token. Like it was the number one trending like category of token was Jew token.
You're always getting involved in something, eh?
I made it for the podcast.
You're the AI guy. Like but it is all like you always have something cooking.
Dude, I literally made this.
Wacky dude.
Dude, well, you know who told me to make it was fucking Bob Sacamano. Bob Sacamano was the one who told me to make it.
We got to talking last night.
Yeah, me and Bob got to talking last night. And he goes, "You got to make a Jew bear coin." So he says it's the next big thing, and maybe it is the next. Maybe it's the next fart coin. I mean, that will be the absolute hilarious thing. Is just like if in
the crypto king
3 months from now, this has $1 billion market cap.
You've started seeing the dollar signs, eh? You're just like maybe it is Jew bear.
Hey, again,
wow.
Made it as a joke.
What a fucking...
Not financial advice. Dude, there were people tweeting at me being like, I lost all my money in your coin already. Like, there's like all these people. I don't know if it's a joke or not, like if people are joking or
yeah.
not. But then I'm getting like, dude, I got like one person, like a DM being like, my DMs were like insane, right? Like I had like literally hundreds of DMs from random people.
Because you're like the king of this community.
I guess. And the thing is with the
head bear,
these tokens, the thing is normally it's anonymous. Like nobody knows who made them. So this is actually like a rare thing where people actually know who's the person behind it because they're almost always just like some anon. So, but I was getting all these messages being like, I lost a bunch of money. Like, could you please send me some tokens or whatever? Like people are like, I lost my, I don't know if this is a joke being like, I lost all this money. I lost 10K in fucking Jew bear.
People are asking you what the plans for the project.
That was like the spaces. And so I start the spaces. There's like 50 people that want to talk. I've never done a Twitter spaces before. This is the first one I ever did it. So then I just let them all in. Everybody's all talking over each other. And I'm like, okay, I picked some.
Excuse me, guys.
Yeah.
Jew bear here.
Yeah. And then I picked some like random guy. And then I was like, okay, you can like moderate the space. And then people were just
you anointed him.
I
must have been a big day for him,
I guess. And I was just
from the supreme leader.
And then, dude, I picked him, and then I'm getting all these DMs being like, "This guy's a fucking scammer. Don't trust him." Like, dude, I got so many things being like, I let like this one girl talk, and then people are like, "Dude, she's the worst. She's a scammer." Like everybody,
they all know each other.
They're all just like, "Yeah, like she's a scammer. She's a scammer." And
silence my children.
Silence. It was one of the more bizarre things.
Now, when you were doing this, were you in bed? Were you in a computer chair?
I was just in my office, just on my computer chair.
Did you have your legs kicked up?
No, I was just sitting at I was literally like rendering AI videos the whole time, just like or whatever, and then because. Just like doing it, and then but
very techno.
They were very much like.
So your day is this because we both got really sick.
Yeah,
I barely can move. Danny,
I'm sick for the second time in 3 weeks.
Sick for the thrill of the hunt because Danny's sickness involves him downloading Chinese apps, fucking getting kicked off, running crypto tokens, rendering AI videos. You're half man, half computer.
I have my Oculus on the whole time.
You really are.
I got one porn tab up. I got a fucking NBA game going on. I got NHL in this corner.
You're half man, half computer at this point.
Basically, I am. Yeah,
you're one step away from just being a bunch of computer code.
I'm essentially soon to be Neuralink. Probably, I'm gonna get.
Yeah, if you're not linked up already,
I'm gonna get the Neuralink,
which I'm not sure. I'm starting to wonder if the actual real Danny's here, or you're at home fucking rendering AI and you've got a hologram in the office right now. Oh,
that'd be the dream right there.
I think I fucking hologram Danny AI in the studio, half man, half computer.
Yeah, but anyways, they were all like, "What's the plans?" I'm like, I don't have any plans. I mean, this is a joke. I'm like, I don't know. Like, just all I did was the only thing I did was I tweet. I go, hey, there's all these fake ones. This is the real one. And then, but people are like, what, you got plans for this community? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. They were so serious though. Like everybody's like so like and they were like, yeah, crypto's been like crappy for the last while because it's all like AI bullshit and everybody's just like trying to scam everyone. But this was like, this was actually like a funny thing and it was like started organically. And I think that's the thing is people like it's so hard to start one of these things because everybody's really just trying to do it for money. And I'm like, I wasn't trying to do it for like I literally was like wasting $10 to do it as a joke just because it was said on my show.
Jeez,
and that's it. And then anyways, it just fucking popped off. And yeah, like, dude, it was like people in the Patreon were like, this is like a $3 million market cap right now. I'm like, how?
Well, my advice is don't buy it.
Hey.
He didn't like that.
No, I mean, honestly.
Danny's angry.
Honestly.
Danny angry.
If you buy it, expect to lose 100% of the money you put into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because the last thing, I mean, dude, you see the Hawk Tua thing. It's like, she has to go radio silent because she went and fucking, it's just like, it's not worth it. Like, people are like, oh, like, dude, everybody keeps tagging me. You know, Iggy Azalea?
Yeah.
What's she famous from?
She's a rapper.
She was a rapper. Okay, so now her new thing is she has like some fucking shit coin. That's her new thing. She has some shit coin that she's hawking.
She had OnlyFans for a while. She's cycled through a lot of different schemes.
Yeah, and so now she's on meme shit coins or whatever, and that's her new thing. And you're just like, I mean, she's literally gonna just extract as much money from this community, destroy her reputation, at least in crypto, and everybody's gonna be like, you're like a scam. I mean, like, look what they did to Hawk Tua chick. Yeah, she doesn't give a shit. Again, I'm not like I'm not trying to be like a leader of a crypto community.
Too late for that.
I guess. Bow down. Bow down to your new god of Jew bear, and everybody's just like, yeah, it's funny. It's a bear, and he's Jewish. I go, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I didn't.
It's literally the most.
I had a less eventful being sick fucking thing. Sick podcast. I didn't start any.
I'm gonna make a Kramer AI.
I didn't start any cults. I'll tell you what I did do. I tried to watch because I was like so fucking sick the Sunday. We had to cancel interviews. I had to cancel our shows and everything like that. And then I was like, okay, I'll try to watch something. So I tried to watch 10 episodes of Alexander the Great, and I'm like, all right, let's fucking go. This will be all right.
Yeah, he's gay.
He's 2 minutes in. He's fucking French kissing a dude. Dude, it was nuts. I turned it off within 2.5 minutes because they're like, Alexander the Great, was one of the greatest, and then they cut to another guy. He's like, he was one of the most important cultural figures of our time. And then they showed him, it's like, love dudes. And then they had him, he was sword fighting with a guy. And then he falls over and he comes up and they like almost kiss. And then they go, this is like within 45 seconds.
They almost kissed in a sword fight?
Yes. Within 45 seconds, he's bathing with a guy. And the guy comes up from behind him and like gives him a smooch on the neck. And they're like, his relationships. And then I go, fuck off. No, no, thank you.
Alexander the Great was one of the greatest. You're like, homosexuals that have ever what?
Dude, these people can't help themselves.
They just want to rewrite history.
I know. It's ridiculous.
That's why we're lucky that everything's on video that we're doing. In 1,000 years from now, they're not going to be able to rewrite.
This guy had 3 different wives. And before they even mentioned a single wife, they had him fucking frolicking around the field naked with a guy. These people need to be taken, their history degrees need to be taken away, man.
Yeah, the only thing I watch right now is 60 Days In.
What's that?
That's where regular people go to jail.
Oh,
for 60 days. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I did. I turn on to. I go world's worst prisons.
Yeah, it is. 60 Days In is really funny though because they do the guys' jail and the girls' jail. And the guys' jail, like, because the whole thing where like people pretend to be trans to go to the girls' jail.
Yeah,
dude, literally the girls' jail is like a fucking sleepover. Like they're just like all like laughing and having
they're
fun.
giggling and laughing.
They're giggling and laughing and they're like doing crafts.
I'm sure they're fighting most of the time.
They're arguing. They're arguing, yes, but there's nothing
Not
physical.
as much physical fighting.
The guy one is everybody getting the shit kicked out of them.
You get turned into a weight. You see what happens if you do it wrong. Yeah. Next thing you know, you're the guy's weight.
Dude, people getting extorted.
Buddy Anthony, I was talking, we have a chat group with all the boys.
Yeah.
And the one guy went to jail and he was like, yeah, when I went to jail, like we had an Indian dude that we used to use as our weights.
Yeah, dude, literally like this one
You
guy.
just like go to jail and you're like, am I gonna get fucked? You're like actually, I don't know, maybe worse. You basically become a bench press
yeah, you
bar.
become a bench press bar. But like this one guy who was he was a security guard, but he's like, I want to be like a corrections officer. That's my dream. So I'm gonna go to jail for 60 days. And they make this whole like backstory for them and everything, so they can like not get in trouble or whatever. And then this guy was like, I was like heavily bullied when I was in high school, and like, you know, it really took a toll on me. So I'm hoping like you know, I'll like learn something about being in jail, and hopefully like this won't happen here. And then like instantly, like he's just like getting extorted. Like, dude, he's getting extorted. Like he's doing his commissary, buying stuff. Some guy just like walks over to him. Some big like dude. He's like, yeah, give me like 2 bags of chips or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, then this one crazy guy comes. He's like laying on his bunk, and this one crazy guy comes, just starts fucking feeding him punches for no reason. So then, and he's like, I only have like one buddy in here, and like this one guy, and like he's like the only guy I can really talk to. And then that guy's like, you know, if you give me money, I'll protect you. So then you're like, this guy's just getting like literally like the fish treatment across the board. It was to the point where he's just like, they have like a code word where if they say the code word, because there's a documentary crew going around, that's like part of it. So then if you say this like code word, like I want a cup of hot coffee or something, then they fucking yank you out of there, and that's like the end of it.
Oh, so the documentary crew kept having to get out of there.
Well, would have to like, because people would have to like get bailed out, because they were like, I fear for my life. But this whole guy was just like, you know, I was bullied heavily, so I hope it's not the case here. And then like literally like you just have that
Someone's bitch within 4 seconds.
You have that demeanor where you're like, you're getting the shit kicked out of you, like, and he's not like causing problems, like he's keeping to himself. He's like getting extorted, beat up, like just the works, like everything. The whole thing is so crib. It's a good show.
That sounds like a pretty good show.
Yeah, pretty solid. You don't have to deal. But anyways, the main point is that the guy's side, tons of violence, like you know, shanks, everything. The girl side, just a fun time. You are a fucking idiot,
especially if you transition. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. But you are
getting your dick sucked,
dude. You're an absolute fucking mark if you can just say, I'm a chick, I want to go to the chick prison. If that's on the table for you and you don't take that, you're
forget about it.
Whatever. She takes some hormones. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? You probably don't even take them. Pretend you're taking them.
That was a big thing with it, actually, is that they would go take the pills and then they would like
spit them out
and crush them up and stuff, and like, or trade them and like all this stuff. So they're like, yeah, you can like just not even take them.
Yeah, exactly.
All you got to do is like do some makeup and maybe grow your hair.
I put lipstick on once a week.
That's it. And you're like having a fun sleepover with a bunch of chicks. And some of them like aren't even gross. Like some of them are like kind of hot.
Some of these jails, though, honestly, if you are a mark bitch, yes, it would be better to be in the women's prison. But like some prisons, if you're not a bitch and you get past the original thing and it's pretty minimum security, there's a lot of, you're playing cards with the boys, you're playing tennis. Like that's not, some of it's like some of these guys, it doesn't sound the worst.
Yeah, if you're in like a super, like a minimum security, like camp or whatever kind of thing.
Because again, after 5 years of just gossiping with the ladies, you might...
Sure. Yeah. You might be like, this is a...
No, there's not enough dick sucks on planet Earth.
This is a different prison in and of itself. This is like double jail. I got to talk to fucking chicks all day. So, yeah, I could understand that. But I'm saying if you're like, you know, like they don't... in the prison jail, if you're like a sex offender, like there's no whole thing where you're like, yeah, you get killed if in the male side if you're a sex offender. It's like the chicks don't do that.
No. And the opposite.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, that would be terrible if you did go to the girls' side and then you're getting everyone's bitch in the girls' side.
Well, that's the thing.
That's the lowest life.
I mean, half of the chicks in there are just former teachers who fuck their students. They're all sex offenders too. It's like probably the most common thing.
I don't know. Some 300-pound Latino chick gangster that's just like fucking time to pay the piper, pal.
Yeah, you might
eat me out. You ate me out.
Yeah, it might not be the best.
So Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Lots been going on, obviously.
I think the fires are done. Are they
no,
done?
but it was just happening as we recorded our episode last week.
I know.
And then just like, pooh. My buddy who lives there, who works in the industry, he was like, he's big on the looting stuff, and he was kind of like...
He's a looter?
Yeah, he's been huge on looting. He's been looting. No, he's like, one of the biggest things that happening is, he goes, a lot of the fake fires now, he said people are starting them so they could do more looting.
Yeah.
So he goes, they're going to the areas, and then he said they're dressing up like firefighters. He said, a lot of crazy
Dude, they've arrested multiple people for arson.
Oh yeah.
Multiple people have been. I mean, Huberman posted something last week where he was just like driving down the street and he's just like, "Hey, there's these people lighting a fire right here."
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So
I was thinking that if I lost everything in like a fire, because there's a lot of people posting like, oh, I'm gonna get my money back, but there's so many things. And I was kind of thinking, do I have anything that would really like mess me up that I lost? And I was like, honestly, just probably maybe my hard drives would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, just all the CPU on there.
But
can't replace that shit.
But I was kind of thinking, I was just like, I don't
Dude, I literally had that exact conversation.
I mean, when I moved here, I kind of just put everything in a storage locker and went back once, and it's all sitting there. Everything I own is like
you've realized
in a storage locker in Toronto, and it's been 5 years
It's
ago.
become a burden. I'm paying for garbage to store garbage that I don't even want.
Right.
Like maybe one day in the near future, I'll be like, yeah, you know what? I really did need that SVGA cable that's been in my... my storage for 12 years.
Yeah, every now and then you want a cable, but you're like, it's easier to buy a new cable to get it.
Sure.
So I don't know if anything would really mess me up. I think I could lose everything and like within a week be kind of back up and running normally.
The only really annoying thing would be just having to be like, I gotta go just like, it's like you're going to college.
Oh my God.
I gotta go like shopping of
I'm not saying it wouldn't be a hassle and a half, but I'm saying that some people are like all my photo albums and all this stuff that they...
Well, you know what the big thing...
the irreplaceable stuff. Well, I'm just like, I don't think I have anything that I couldn't like...
Well, because obviously you don't have a giant...
a nomad.
Well, you don't have a giant collection of Hunter Biden's artwork, so...
Right.
Dude, Hunter Biden is fucking making out like a bandit right now because he lost like 40 paintings.
Oh, and they probably got valued.
They got valued when under a Joe Biden presidency, not under a Donald Trump presidency. Because under
so this guy's gonna be getting paid out for a bunch of finger paintings.
Dude, made of shit. Literally made of shit, human feces that are probably like valued at $500,000 a pop. Dude, there's so many people. I saw Bill Ackman tweet about this where basically like there's a lot of people who have like, because like a $10 million home, but they have like a $500 million art collection in their home.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like the insurers are, they could be like,
some people are going
to get these.
Hey.
And the thing is, if you have like a crazy art collection and the fires are coming, like you can't really just take them all with you. Like that's hard. Like how you could take your favorite one.
Well, you almost don't want to because the insurance payouts can be more than you can, and the hassle to sell them, the percentages you're paying on commissions to sell them.
Oh, all that stuff. But I mean, again, the insurance companies notoriously like look for any loophole to not pay you.
Well, they're not begging to give you money.
Yeah, like good luck collecting. But I'm sure a lot of people had these like massive art collections that just like went up in flames.
Well, my favorite, the Julia Roberts was probably the most interesting one to me recently, and I got a whole bunch. But so Julia Roberts slams looters amid LA fires. Fuck you to criminals exploiting chaos. And Julia Roberts wasn't happy with people looting her house
this time.
Well, the thing is,
I'm
gonna have to go ahead and disagree with you, Danny, because this is what happened.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts is on record being really against looting. She may or may not have tried to stop the bill that was preventing looting.
Sure.
Yes. That wasn't celebrities' houses, Danny.
Right.
Yes, if you want to loot Joe Blow's bakery,
if you want to go loot Compton,
yes.
Get all the copper pipes in Compton.
Loot Compton, loot Joe Blow's convenience store that he wants to start on the side. She has her Oscars there.
I know.
These are. I don't know if you know the difference between like a nobody and an important person. Yes.
What people don't really realize too is like when you win an Oscar, they charge you like $1,000 to actually get it.
There you go.
Right, so that's money.
It's money in the bank, the sentimental value. She has actually important stuff there, and on top of that, the people that are doing the looting, this woman's in your corner. She's pro looting. She goes everywhere else, just not here. I don't know. If anything, they're biting the hand that feeds.
kind of.
It's ungrateful is what these looters are.
I mean, watch these looting laws get changed all of a sudden after the rich people get affected by it. And they go, you know what? Maybe looting's not the best thing.
Loot Minneapolis. Yes.
Yeah.
Burn the city down.
Yeah, loot a cold city.
This is Hollywood. We actually... It's like they don't understand the concept, the difference between people that are important and people that are not.
Sure.
Someone needs to beat them. Someone needs to like maybe beat that over their fucking poor head.
Maybe with an Oscar.
With
just
someone.
Really beat them down with that Oscar.
Shove it in their ass.
That Aaron Brockovich Oscar right up the ass.
Yeah, so honestly, I want to say the looters, if you're not going to loot a famous person's house.
No.
She's the only one that has looters' backs.
I know. Well, she did.
Not in her backyard.
She did have their backs, and then they came for her, and now she's not a big fan of looting.
It is. I get the idea.
The question is, are these dumbasses going to re-elect the people who are like in charge right
Yes.
now? Because they will, right?
Her brain is made of mashed potatoes. Do these people like? I mean, it's the same person. It's like you take the subway once, and you're just like, they need to do something about these subways, and then you don't take it for another year, and you're just like, put more people on the subways, get rid of these cops.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry that you had to be on a subway with a man that was holding a knife with blood.
Dude, she probably got a call from her agent after that being like, hey, can you like maybe take that down or retract that statement? That's not going to be good for your career. Saying you don't like looters.
That's true, yeah.
That's not really
We're sort of a looter.
He goes,
group
we're in
here.
negotiations for a new film, and if you come out as anti-looting, that's,
We're sort of a looting.
that might cost us.
Yeah, our business brand is very pro looting. Would you maybe amend that statement to say that you don't like the treatment of the looters?
Literally like a PR crisis at her agency because they're like, oh my God, she said she's against looting. Oh my God.
Fuck is this bitch? Are you out of your fucking mind?
They have like the crisis team in. They're like, what do we do? What do we do?
It is out of control. It's one of those things too. She probably, it's not just with this, it's probably like, you know, it's like you hear people playing their music too loud. She's probably would be against any bill of like, you know, people shouldn't be playing music at 4 a.m. outside your house.
Yeah.
If anyone was playing music outside of her house at 4 a.m.
Like a mandatory headphone bill.
Oh, she'd sick the dogs on them. Yeah. This is, but they're not like understand. You're like, lady, you've been out here.
Yeah, you voted.
Pro-looting.
You voted for this.
But it's more than voted for it.
Yeah,
She's campaigned. She's
yeah.
actively campaigned for it.
Yeah, I want to know what Eric.
She was the one who made the Trump wives video too. Do you remember that?
Oh, really?
No, she was the voice on the like, if you're voting for, if you're a woman, like don't tell your husband you're voting for Trump. She was the voice that narrated that. This is a post that she posted. She goes, I realize I have privilege because I can sell my CDs without being shot. I can play music without being shot. And then she had like a brackets of like a name of a black person that had that happen to them. I can go to church without being shot. I can shop at Walmart. Julia Roberts.
I mean, that's, by the way, that's insane because
that's your privilege. I don't know if you've been to Walmart, but I don't see a lot of privilege cooking around those aisles.
Have you ever had that fantasy if you're ever on the subway and there's like someone playing like a speaker and then in your mind you're just like, I'm going to fucking say something to them.
I'm going to be that guy.
I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to go up to them and go, hey, buddy. A lot of people on the subway, turn your speaker down. Somebody did that last week and got stabbed.
Yeah.
Some guy, basically, some guy was playing his speaker and then some guy was just like fed up and goes, hey, buddy.
I'm saying something.
I'm saying something. And he goes, ow, he stabbed me.
I wasn't part of the deal. Okay, you play your music.
Okay, I'm sorry. Why do you keep stabbing me? Just it's so loud.
I told you, I had the guys.
It's so inconsiderate.
Dude, you feel like a bitch too because if you're like a grown man and there's a bunch of like 17-year-olds, but there's 9 of them and you're just like, if I have to get beat up by 17-year-olds, like, you know what I mean?
Tough.
Well, I told you what happened to me is they were on the subway. I mean, Johnny was there. We were fucking out there.
Kid puked.
Yeah, they're yelling and screaming and everyone. The most you can do,
Hooting and hollering.
the most you could do is catch the eye of someone else and give them a look of like, can you believe this? Yeah, that's the best you can do.
It'd be like if you look at them, he goes, "Man, if there was 9 of us, we
you
might be able to say something."
Well, you look at a guy, and then you give him like a roll your eyes, like, can you believe this? And he goes, why are you rolling your eyes?
He rolled his eyes. He rolled his eyes. He rolled his eyes. He rolled his eyes. Get him. Get him.
Well, anyways, I'm fucking. That's what we're doing. Then they got pukes on me. Fucking out of control, man.
Yeah, but anyways,
Julia Roberts would be yelling at me for getting. Well, maybe you shouldn't have been in the line of puke. Julia Slobberts.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you stand. If you ever decide to be like, "Hey, can you turn your speaker down?" It's inconsiderate. You get stabbed.
Yeah.
Like that was the first guy to try that. Unsuccessful. 0 for 1.
Yes. On the topic of celebrities, slight divergence here, but I've been talking a lot about my favorite Will Smith line, first in it, last one out the club, and I finally found it again.
Okay.
And the line goes, first in it, last one out the club, bursting in, passing out at the club. So not only does, I want to do a sketch about this, but he's first in it, last one out the club. So he's the first guy there,
Not
the last
cool.
one there.
Not traditionally a cool thing to say.
But that's what you say when you hear the first line. You're like, what? You're the last one there? That's weird. But then he reveals that it's because he passed out at the club.
Oh, because he accidentally gave himself the roofies. He mixed up which cup was which.
Possibly. Or it might have been the cup thing, or it was a ruse that he pretended to pass out so he'd get a few extra club minutes.
Oh, okay. They go, it's last call, and he's just like,
Fellas, I've been telling you about Marek Health. Danny's been telling you about Marek Health. And one thing you should probably know, insurance companies regularly deny progressive treatment options. Primary care physicians refuse to order comprehensive lab work, and the standards of care lag years behind leading research. I don't think I'm allowed to get too in specifics, but I'll tell you one thing. There was one thing I've been doing that the guy was like, stop that immediately.
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I thought this and this. And he was like, no, that's like a scam. And he was like, they don't tell you the.
No, I mean, there's a lot of misinformation.
There's
out
so
there.
much stuff.
Tons.
Yeah, I was even going to do a sketch about when you try to when you invent an actual cure and then the pharmaceutical company showing at your house and stuff like that. So Marek Health represents a paradigm shift in how we approach medicine, empowering those who want the most out of healthcare, wish to maximize their potential. They offer cutting-edge diagnostic labs, concierge health coaching, expert clinical oversight. They support clients in achieving their health and fitness goals by leveraging data-driven lifestyles, nutrition recommendations, along with supplement and prescription treatment options. They actually got me off hamburgers as much as I've been eating them.
Well,
among the other things.
I don't know, you're a big burger guy.
I've been on red meat, man. They give you good.
Yeah.
I know the guy gave me a whole big plan. I'm on different. Like it's very helpful. And also I said it's like the biggest thing is when you, I'm sure probably a lot of dudes that listen to this podcast are like keeping track of their health and stuff like that. It's the best way because then you do it a few months later and then you actually see like, am I doing any?
Yeah.
I find that's the best one. So the sooner you do it, the sooner you can compare it to.
Absolutely. It's the only way you can really measure things.
Right. So that's why the Boys Cast, we both been on Marek. They got expedited onboarding for those who are interested in working with a Marek Health medical provider, personalized treatment options ranging from hormone optimization, cognitive enhancement. They got hair loss prevention, body recomposition, all from the comfort of your home. And the optimization package includes the same elaborate panel that me and Danny have both done. And with those test results, the Marek Health clinical team optimizes my personal protocol to get the exact same panel and medical oversight. So click the link in the video description, which is marekhealth.com/boyscast. Use the code boyscast and you're going to get 10% off at checkout.
They got to drag them out there just so you can get a little more action.
You know what I was kind of thinking about because there's a lot of, people were kind of posting a lot of it's in poor taste with the GoFundMes. And I think a lot of celebrities, when the insurance CEO got killed,
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And there was a bit of, I think you might have made a point where you're like, it's news to them finding out people hate them sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think that Hollywood celebrities often go through this as well, where they're just like, but I'm beloved.
Right. Also, and in their defense, which a lot of people don't realize, is you're like, some Hollywood celebrity is doing a GoFundMe. You're like, they haven't worked in 10 years. Like, you remember them from a thing they did 10 years ago. They're like, they haven't made any. They're not actually rich.
Some of them, I know.
Like,
people,
some of them are.
I've had people that I know in Los Angeles that have told me, because I've been chatting with people.
Yeah.
And they've been saying, like, my buddy who, like, probably makes like $1 million a year posted GoFundMe and everyone.
That's crazy.
Rolling their eyes.
Like, I saw some. Did you see Eddie Griffin? I didn't know Eddie Griffin was like a super MAGA guy. Eddie Griffin.
I know Eddie Griffin. I remember him and his
Deuce Bigelow
kid or whatever used to come around Toronto. And
okay. So Eddie Griffin, he's a huge
try to hit on girls.
He's a huge MAGA guy, and he has like a MAGA, like basically like a Steve Bannon War Room type podcast. Which is
I did not know that,
dude. It's like insane. He literally said,
so he's like an old head,
dude. He basically said that the fires were started by pedophiles to burn all the evidence.
Let's go.
Yeah. He's mega based, but then he posted some photo, and he's just like on a private jet, and you're like, damn, it's like you were fucking flying private. Like,
Griffin was getting paid.
He was getting paid, but he hasn't done. I mean, he still tours stand up, and he probably sells tons of tickets. But you're like, you haven't done anything in 10 years.
I guarantee he's selling tickets.
Oh, it's big time. He's doing like casino gigs where like they're getting really paid. But you're like, yeah, but he's a comedian, so he can still make money off of that. But you're like, a lot of these people, like
I'm sure there's all different. I mean, when something like this happens, there's all the different things going on. Yeah. Well, that's why I kind of have like mixed feelings about all the different things. I've felt all the different things where I felt bad for people. Then
sure.
But
I mean, it sucks regardless of how much money you have to lose your house. But it also is like,
of course,
like Mel Gibson was on Rogan and he's like, I don't know what's that. And this house is currently burning down. You're
it's fucked.
Yeah, and you're like, again,
and also it feels like close where it's like it feels kind of a little like New York where I'm like, dude, I talked to none of my friends. It seemed like Corolla was kind of like in the thick of it.
I know those.
No one that I know super well was like properly affected.
Those maybe you don't know them, but these two DJs, the EC twins.
Yeah.
Those guys, they had to like evacuate shout out to them, because I was talking to them, and they had to like evacuate their place, and they were basically like, we literally, our whole savings is just like in this house. We have like nothing other than,
Dude, it's
essentially
mad.
like house poor.
Well, if,
thankfully,
if you're insured, then you're insured.
well, no, they were in that scenario where their insurance got dropped, and then because the thing is like everybody,
you know why the insurances got dropped, by the way?
because of the government.
They said like, hey, you're not allowed to charge this much for insurance, and then they were like, well, we'll lose money if we do that, and then they were just like, well, you should lose money.
Yeah, you should.
And then
Like,
every
that's not
insurance company was like, you can't force us to like operate in an
And,
area.
like-
so then insurance companies left.
Prices went up so
And they were
much.
like, "Hey, we want to buy insurance," but like they're just like, "Well, they're not, and it would
not
be this
letting
much
us.
money," and they're like, "Yeah, they can't provide it," which is like, it's just like a fucking.
And also, like,
I mean,
the-
mismanagement was right and
Oh,
left.
but like the main thing is like, you know, the values of these homes like doubled in a short period of time. So you're like, yeah, well, if the insurance obviously should reflect the current value of your home. So then they're like, yeah, we need to raise insurance rates because your place doubled in value.
Yeah, double. Yeah.
Right? Like your place doubled in value in 5 years. So you're like, yeah, we have to raise your insurance rates. And then the state was like, you're not allowed to. And all they're end up going to doing is because they have this like.
I mean, it's literally the like breadlines meme.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, okay, that's you know, you'll hear it about like Argentina when inflation was really bad. They're just like, that's not true. Like, bread is actually only $1 for like 2 loaves, and you're like, where can you buy that? And you're like, well, no one will sell it, so you actually can't buy it anywhere. But that's how much it costs.
That's how much it costs, right? Yeah. But like the state goes, hey, if you can't get insurance because of us, essentially, they did this like thing called like the CARE. It's like a California like insurance thing for fire, but they only had $200 million in it. So it's going to run out instantly.
It's like
so
fucking 3 houses in the Palisades.
yeah, it's like nothing. And then so what's essentially going to happen is they can step in and essentially say like, you know what, we're going to just like go Citibank style and just bail out
the rich
everybody.
people.
And then all that's going to happen is that they're going to socialize all the losses amongst all the California residents. So if
You're paying
you
for-
live in Sacramento and you're now paying because Gavin Newsom wouldn't allow.
No, you're not allowed to charge
insurance
that
companies.
guy. Everyone's going to pay
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that $200 million mansion.
Don't you love living in California?
California knows how to spend.
Knows how to fuck, yeah. So it's like crazy because you're like, yeah, okay, great. Yeah,
Stuff's right and left.
And those people probably like would have bought insurance, and it's the insurance.
You know what I was just back to the Julia Roberts thing. I felt like with a lot of the celebrities in general, one of the mistakes that they make when they pick their causes, like this is how you end up in this situation where you are inevitably a hypocrite. Is they need to pick a cause, right? So I'm not going to tell these. I'm not going to tell.
First off, no, they don't. What's the Sandman's
No,
cause?
I'm not going to tell these A-list actresses that no cause. Like, you know, you got to take baby steps. Danny.
Sure.
Like, you're going to show up and you're going to, first things first, no cause. It should go, you're fired.
Yeah.
I would say, so if I'm a consultant here, I'm with you. I know obviously you need a cause. I'm not an idiot. Yes, of course. What are you going to be, some psycho without a cause? You need a cause. But the problem is the ones who do it right pick causes that end. So, for example, her cause is like racial equality. You know who did it really good? Jon Stewart has a cause. The firefighters from 9/11
Get
getting
them
more
paid.
stuff. This is my one thing that I want them to, you know?
Yeah.
And then it gets it. Or even Kim Kardashian was like, I need these 3 guys I want them out of jail. You have your specific cause.
Mm-hmm.
You seem like you're doing the exact amount of stuff, but you have your cause.
There's defined success. Like
You
defined
can't
goal
have
here.
these broad, vague causes that will never end.
Yeah, and racism,
I mean, I always, to be honest, Palestine, you're like, I'm a Palestine guy. At some point, you're not going to want to put as much energy into this as you do now.
Yeah,
and then
for
10
sure.
years from now, when things are exactly the same.
Correct.
Maybe not as much actual bombing, but maybe 5 years ago. And then they go, wasn't this your whole thing? And they go, I'm not that anymore. You go, did it get solved? No.
So why aren't you then?
Like racial equality, you never get to be like, well, I did it. Like Jon Stewart gets to be like, we did it.
Yeah.
And you go,
like-
your cause, you go, yeah, and it was successful. Like you need something that has an end to it,
Sure.
or else it's inevitable that you'll look like a hypocrite.
Yeah, you can't have it. And then also, again, like there's really no reason, no real benefit. I mean, there is a benefit. I was gonna say there's no benefit, but there is a benefit temporarily for backing these causes because it actually does support your career. Like, you know, if you're this vocal, like racism's bad, you know, you get a little bump,
You get
kind of
the
thing.
bump.
But then you get caught in these contradictory things, and then it just
Unless your like entire life forever is this.
yeah. But then you can't come out against Luton.
You definitely can't come
Who's
out
do-
again.
who's doing the looting?
But that's what I mean. She probably forgot that she was like, oh, right. 6 years ago, my entire identity was looting's great.
Yeah.
Like she's moved on. You go, well, the thing still exists.
Yeah, we still remember her.
How is this not? Why? So, you go, I grew out of it? You're 38. You're probably, 50 when she started it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I think if I was them, I would be. You got to go specific with your
Literally,
cause.
all you do is you just post a fucking Red Cross link for California.
Now we're
just
talking.
Move on with your life.
Yes.
Just be like, I'll match donations up to 10 grand. Here's a Red Cross link. I'm the good guy.
I was like, at first I did feel it a little bit. Where with stuff like this, I mean, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with LA, but I did feel like I was like, oh fuck, I hope no one, like that would fucking suck if someone lost it. Like I did actually, and people I talked to were like, it's like mayhem out here.
We only know poors.
Kind of though. We know some. We know some agents, managers, and a bunch of comedians that have money. We know.
I wonder what the tone on the ground was like in Compton or.
He said it's nuts.
Well, no, I'm just saying because they were completely unaffected. They don't have like trees and stuff around them like they do.
Just mean there. I think it's business as usual in some places.
Yeah, it's like business as usual. They're probably like, fuck, man.
If I think of things, the one thing I probably like about LA is. And I'm not talking about just like, I think that people when they only think of New York and LA, they think of it like from a, like just only the politics.
Uh-huh.
But the thing I think I like, even probably compared to other places, including New York, is they have a go-getter mentality over there. Two things. LA has a lot of people that have gotten really rich and do nothing.
Uh-huh.
Like there's a lot of people in Los Angeles that live in the hills, have, probably net worth of 7 million. You're like, what do you do? And you're like, I don't know. I mostly go to lunches. Like there's a lot of people that have figured out
deal makers.
Yeah. They kind of like beat the game.
Yeah.
So I think LA has a lot of that. And because of that, they have a very like anything's possible mentality. I think there's a lot of like go-getters there. Mm-hmm. It can get a little negative in New York.
Yeah.
And then in, smaller places, it has that energy of like, oh, you think you're going to be. So I think there's like a youthful positivity about Los Angeles that I kind of enjoy.
They're all vitamin D'd up, so they're feeling good.
They're all vitamin D'd up, so yes. There's that. And then, then there's the other part. You kind of, turn on the TV and you see Jimmy Kimmel bawling his eyes out again, and you're just like, yeah, that's,
That's a bit checks out.
There's my hate part. There's the hate part, and Julia Roberts, you're like, oh, right, like fucking what comes with, what comes with that go-getter energy is kind of like an energy of like, oh, I can save the world in an afternoon.
Yeah.
And then, do all these, promote all these things that are going to make everyone's life work, but it'll help my career a tiny little bit in some way, and I can feel better about myself, and it'll actually make the world worse, and then I can move on with my day and with the destruction of my past. There's some of that energy.
Yeah, and it'd be nice if some of them, because at least here, like, when the leaders like fuck up, on both sides of the aisle, it seems like people will be
it's
like,
a more cynical place.
Yeah, people will be like, yeah, that was like that I voted for that guy, but he did something wrong, and he could have done that better. Whereas there, Julia Roberts is like, Gavin Newsom's never done anything bad. He's perfect. He's a perfect governor.
Well, they're living in a fantasy world a bit out there, right?
Quite literally.
Where it's more cynical out here, but there's it's nice to have an energy of like positivity sometimes.
Sure.
Whereas New York's a little bit like everything sucks. It's a dark energy, but it's obviously better for. But then LA has the other side of it, that their dark energy, which is like you walk around the streets and you feel ghosts.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just literally crazy. Well, no, there's probably crazies everywhere, but they're not lighting you on fire.
I hope the fires are happy that they made Jimmy Kimmel cry again, though. That's God's up there.
It's crazy that he didn't have enough tears to put out the fires. Like that wasn't like I was wondering.
That's actual strategy.
Do you think that was like a plan? They go, fuck, the reservoir's out. They go, what can we do? We need water. You go, I got an idea. Tell Jimmy Kimmel there's racism happening. Just we'll suspend.
We need water.
We'll suspend him from a helicopter. He can deliver his monologue.
We need water
over the fires, and he just starts bawling and just puts the whole thing out.
Yeah.
By God, it worked.
Kimmel. I was thinking that's what hell looks like. Is you go to hell, and then in your mind you're just like, oh, I guess I'm going to be like burned for eternity. But really, what happens? They put you in a room, and you have like here's your day. You got 3 hours of watching just screens everywhere, Jimmy Kimmel crying, then 3 hours of Jimmy Fallon laughing, and then you have 3 hours of Stephen Colbert scolding.
Yeah. No, you're in the studio
and then
audience.
Seth Meyers just doing whatever the fuck Seth Meyers does.
It's not even the screens, it's you're in the studio audience having to watch.
That's what hell is.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what hell is.
And Jimmy Fallon's just laughing the whole time. Kimmel's crying.
Yeah.
Colbert's wagging his finger in your face.
The Costco guys are the guests on every show. every episode you go, Costco guys again, huh? Do you guys ever have any other guests? Is Brad Pitt or Leo not available? It's just,
Can I get some
kind of done with the boom meter. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, Danny, bullshit. And you're the only guy, so you have to.
Yeah,
do
you're
the
the only
boom.
guy. Everybody reach under your chair. You have a double chunk chocolate
get
cookie. You go, I don't want another double chunk chocolate cookie.
The good devil prods you if you don't clap enough for the booms. Danny,
The applause meter comes
we
on.
can't hear you. Boom. Boom. Hey, no crying. That's for Kimmel.
Boom. 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 Your arm is just so jacked from constantly doing boom. You just have one giant arm. Boom.
I think that's what hell is.
That
Yeah.
sounds about right.
So-
I mean, if the Costco guys are not going straight to hell, then
Exactly.
I don't know anything.
Bill Burr went on Kimmel when I guess the day Kimmel was crying, but Bill Burr, I guess he's sort of had a controversy because he sort of came out. He has a new special coming out, and he basically I can't remember exactly.
He's very much like do not second guess. Any professionals or whatever.
You know what I summed it up as? Bill Burr's kind of like an old union man energy.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's always like, whenever it's like a corporation, he's kind of like, these are evil corporations. But when it's the government, he's got sort of they're doing their best.
Yeah.
He's got grace with the government and no grace with corporations. I think that's like a union man energy.
I mean, the problem with the Bill Burr thing,
old school, like New Jersey union man.
yeah, and again, he is like obviously one of the funniest comedians. But the problem is he did this exact shtick with like don't question the authorities.
He's done it
during
a lot.
COVID,
Yeah.
and you're like, but you've been proven wrong now.
I guess,
like
yeah.
in hindsight, like
Yeah.
you were proven wrong that like they did. And like again, like what's your point? Like they can't make mistakes. They shouldn't be held accountable.
I think
for their mistakes.
I guess the point is they're doing their best, but when corporations do it, they're evil, sort of, right?
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's just like I don't know. There's, like I've said it before, but like, if you put the fucking insurance CEOs in charge of, like, again, an insurance CEO would never be the governor of California because it's a massive step down for them. Like they make $50 million a year versus like whatever $300K. But you're like, you put the insurance CEO as the governor of California, the fire things end.
And if you put the mayor of Los Angeles in charge of the insurance company,
Bankrupt.
dying.
Yeah, like literally everybody's dying. The thing goes bankrupt, completely belly up. Like everybody loses their money. Like but again, the incentive structure is wrong. But like, I mean, I agree with Bill Burr where he's like, a helicopter pilot can't fly in 100-mile-an-hour winds at night. Sure. Like the 100-mile-an-hour wind thing was something where people were like, why can't they? And you're like, yeah, they can't fly in 100-mile-an-hour winds. Like a helicopter is just like, maybe there's some, but not the ones they had or whatever. And this is like a rare thing. But you're like, there could have been some things. Surely they did better. Well, they could have prepared for this. You have fire season every year. It's called fire season. Like it's literally called fire season.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have made very compelling, evidence-based, cases about what the obvious things where you're just like, this was a mess. This was a mess.
Yeah.
Why didn't you have water? And most of it seems pretty true.
For sure.
Where you're just like, yeah, it's not. There's also lots of people that do know what they're talking about that have made the case that I don't think it takes a crazy leap to be like California's mismanaged because they are everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, they say the water pressure ran out. They're like, no, we had water, but we were all using it at once. That's why the fire hydrants were dry. And you're like, is it impossible to solve that problem? Like, is that an impossible problem to solve, or did you just like not think about it?
And they're like, well, we have bigger problems to solve. And you're like, what? And you're just like, we're trying to make it. Well, we're trying to make looting easier to do.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, we're trying to abolish racism. Okay, but like again, you're just like, was this an impossible problem to solve? Is it like
Newsom's weasel number one, dude?
Oh, the worst.
When people talk about like the lizard people, he probably is the most that I guess some of the older politicians, like the Mitch McConnell types, when they get old enough, they start to actually look like a lizard too.
Yeah.
So they have a bit more lizardy characteristics. But I say of young guys, he looks the most like Men in Black style, like wearing a body, but he's like a creature.
yeah, for sure, dude. He
100% seems like he finishes those speeches, walks, and then zips off his Newsom suit.
Oh, that thing was suffocating me. He's cold-blooded, right? 'Cause he's a fucking reptile.
Exactly. He's the most,
Yeah, but he had this one interview. I posted it on my Twitter, but he was like interviewed on MSNBC, and it's like you watch it with the sound off. His body, like it looks like he's signing. Like his body language is so insane.
Interesting.
Like he's like, dude, he does like every like fucking like it's kind of like the Obama shit, but it's so aggressive. Like the amount he's constantly like his arms are literally
he's on the move.
Whole interview constantly moving, and he's just like doing this and like.
Is he hypnotizing people? Is that what it kind of is?
Maybe. I mean, it's not working, but
it's working on some people.
dude, it literally. I wanted to like do a thing where like you put him in a circle at like a sign.
You almost have to respect a little bit in the like white men are bad era. He was just like he was able to be like like standard rich Martha's Vineyard like white guy and somehow be like.
Everybody loves him.
On that side, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean he is like if you made a politician in a lab, like
1000%.
That's the guy you.
He's what Trudeau wants to be. Sort
absolutely,
of.
yeah. Like he's so polished, like every single thing. Like, but it's like, dude, the hand movements and everything are like just mental.
You could tell things bounce off him. You could say like, to his face, like you this and that. These people are dead. He'll just be like,
yeah, he knows how to like. He'd probably be like an incredible salesman.
Words mean
like
nothing to
like
him.
a cold calling salesman.
Sure.
Like he would be like the best at that.
Yeah.
Because anything you say to him, he has like any rebuttal. He's just like he's got something for you.
That was probably one of the crazier things and funnier things was when people got booked like being influencers. Like there's the guy, he has his shirt off and he's like flexing while he shows what's happening with the fires. And there's the other guy, he was a news anchor and he was wearing the fire coat and he had
David Muir,
and he had the clothespins on the back of the fire coat to make it look more fitted.
Dude, he got so
that guy got torched.
I'm like, I didn't get that one. I'm like, I don't know. Jack Osborne was the one who started that. He's like,
it wasn't that crazy, but like, dude.
I mean, he didn't do that. It's like one of his fucking producers was probably like, there's 100-mile-an-hour winds and your jacket is flapping everywhere and it's fucking up the sound. So let's just like tighten it. Like, I don't think it was for him to look better. I mean,
he looks like fucking Zoolander.
Yeah, he does
so
look
it's
like
funny.
Zoolander.
Like,
yeah, it is funny.
I understand your point that you're just like, well, whatever. He's a guy. He's a Los Angeles like newscaster. They're gonna look slick, but it's like the guy looks like Zoolander.
Yeah,
so it's funny.
I know it is funny, but it's just like
you're out here like reporting on a tragedy and you're dressed like Zoolander.
yeah, he's like, can we tighten this up?
He's not Zoolander. He's the other guy. He's what
Owen Wilson.
He's Owen Wilson.
Yeah, he's literally like, I look a little frumpy in this fire jacket. Queen.
You're right. I understand your point that you're just like, what are they supposed to do? Maybe not send that guy. I don't know.
And then the next interview he did, though,
put some soot on your face a little bit, maybe make it dirty it up a little.
I don't think they'd like that. They would not like that.
Too much.
But anyways, there were some people that were doing compilations of all the people gaining clout off of this.
Oh, for sure.
But what are you going to do?
I mean, hey, man, they're still, at the end of the day,
There's still clout to be had.
There's clout to be had, and these are people who live in Hollywood.
Well, what do you want?
Never let a good crisis go to waste. And these people are probably like, they're having meetings with their agents, being like, like
I talked to my agent. He said it's a shit show over there.
Oh, I bet. I mean, dude, some of it looks like Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Some of it literally looks like a goddamn nuke went off.
But he even said it's a shit show, like, not just that, like, everyone's...
Oh, business, like, yeah.
Everything's all over the place, like, the place is falling apart.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
You know what one crazy thing for me was? This business where the criminals also become firefighters for like 10 cents an hour or whatever, it's like bizarre to me.
Well, I mean, they have jobs. Like a lot of them have jobs. So I
didn't realize they let you out of the prison to do your job.
Oh yeah, some people have jobs. Like if you're in like minimum security, you can have a job that's like on the outside.
Yeah, I know. It's like
it's like a very honor system, and it's for like more trustworthy.
And it's for people that probably have like a year and a half left. So you're like, oh, they might take off. And it was like, okay, then they want to put another 5 years on their sentence.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's no real benefit for you taking off because it's just like you just add tons of time and you go to
I didn't know that existed. I've seen the things where they're like into chain gangs and they pick up garbage.
Yeah.
But these guys are like out in the mix.
I mean, they give them axes.
It's kind of
But
wild.
I imagine none of them have violent crimes. They're probably all drug dealers.
No, they said that, and there's like no sex offenders, no other stuff. But Blueface, the rapper, he was doing it. That guy's a pretty violent dude.
He's in jail?
Yeah, he's in jail.
And he was fighting fires?
Yeah,
For 10
that's what it
bucks-
was.
10
Mom
bucks
was
a-
out there saying that he was too famous to be fighting fires and he should have had more money.
Yeah, I mean, $10 a day is pretty good, to be honest.
Well, I think one thing they forget when they talk about they only make this much, that the prices are way lower in there.
Yeah, that's like it's probably like 8 soups a day. Or
Do you know what I mean? Like they give you like a chocolate bar. I don't know the exact prices, but it's not the exact same as they are in the real world.
No, I think it's pretty close. Like I think because again, I watch all these prison TikToks and stuff. It's like I think it's like the main thing is like soups and stuff, and they're like $1. So you can make like 10 soups a day, which is essentially currency.
No, you don't make $1 a day. I think
No, they make $10 a day. I'm saying a soup.
Oh, they were making $10 a day.
A soup is $1, but I think a lot of jobs
so you
is
make
like
$10.
Like the most you make in a lot of prisons is 45 cents an hour.
I don't know. I just thought that was like wild though.
Yeah.
They let them out.
I mean, I
guess it
wonder
makes sense, but-
if they're gonna get any sort of like time removed from their sentences for like doing that.
Also, how does the water chief make $750,000? It seems high for a government job.
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem crazy?
I mean, that seems like probably Gavin Newsom doesn't even make that, I would guess, because the president doesn't.
The fuck
The
does it-
president of the United States
and
makes 400.
I mean, you can understand why people like, Corolla was going off on this and it affected him personally,
Yeah.
where he's just like, fuck this shit. But basically, the 750 grand a day. And then when she goes on
year,
a year, and then when she goes on interviews, she was all just like, we want to make sure that there's equity everywhere. And all
Of
that sort
course. That's why she's
Yeah, but 750K is nuts.
Yeah, that does seem actually pretty crazy because I would imagine Gavin Newsom makes 300, 2 and change.
750 grand a year to come out and say every problem ever is climate change and not you.
Hey, man.
Climate change really is like a catch-all that nothing that happens is your fault.
Yeah. I mean, you could just never take the blame.
Wasn't that like a Mike
Gavin
Solana?
Newsom,
He made a thing called
242,000.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, he's got real money, obviously,
Yeah.
but he had a Mike. You know some Mike Solana?
Yeah.
His pirate wires and stuff.
Of course, I was trying to get him. I was talking to him about getting him on the show.
Okay, well, I like
Yeah,
him.
he said he'd do the BOYSCAST actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
well,
like
that's
him.
good. I like him.
Yeah.
But I think he made a book that was called "Climate Change Ate My Homework" or something.
yeah.
It's kind of true.
I mean, again,
he actually had some wild takes.
great boogie, man.
He was kind of saying he was like, does he live in New York?
No, he lives in San Francisco.
He was kind of saying he was saying that people were talking about the weather being controlled, and then he was like, it's actually not that crazy. We could kind of control the weather.
Absolutely, they
I didn't
can.
realize that.
I mean, they do it. It's cloud seeding. They do it in China.
Cloud seeding.
Yeah, they do it in China. They do it in Dubai.
How does that work?
It's I can't remember what it is. Some phosphorus or something. You basically just shoot it up into the air, and then it just creates artificial clouds and starts raining.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is there's all these things about whether it's good for the environment. So then even in the case of like a fire, they would be like, well, there might be some like like even that pink shit they're spraying everywhere, the fire retardant. They're like
Come on.
fire R-wordant. That's what I put in my sketch. But that stuff, people are like, oh, like we need it to fight the fires, but like we don't know the long-term consequences of spraying it everywhere. Like it can kill animals and all this stuff. So I don't know if they were trying to like hold back on even spraying that shit.
I think if you're doing meetings right now and you have people raising concerns like that, you're just like, do you mind stepping outside? And then you lock the door. And you go, all right, so what we're doing is
Yeah, we're just dropping it.
she goes to the bathroom and just lock the door. And you go, all right, let the
All right,
adults
drop fire retardant everywhere. Just drop it.
Anyways, then and I guess the last thing that was kind of interesting was that the people were getting mad because other people were hiring private security systems, private firefighters,
which I
and
did not know
security.
was a thing.
Did
Did you see the guy?
Well, I looked up. You can do it for I think it's like 10 grand. You can get it for a day.
$2,000. I looked. Yeah. So
With a truck.
This started with this guy. His name's Keith Wasserman. I don't know if you saw this tweet. It went like a mega viral when the fire started. This guy, it was in Palisades, and he put it out a tweet. And he's like a real estate developer, and he put out a tweet saying like, are there any private firefighters we can hire? Like everybody in the neighborhood is like willing to chip in because they were all about to lose their homes. So
Yeah.
they were just like last ditch effort, and then just absolutely got savaged.
I know.
Like he got to the point where he
I did see this, yeah.
deleted the tweet, deleted his account, everything. It had like 10 million views. Everybody's just like, yeah, you fucking rich people think you can just hire private firefighters. He's like, I mean, I pay the most taxes out of anywhere in literally America. Like the firefighters that they have that should be, like sufficient are not. So it's not that crazy. He's like, you know how much taxes I pay? Although I guess
the only there's no hypocrisy really, because the hypocrisy would be if a guy like that was out there, kind of campaigning that.
Or like basically slipping regular firefighters like an extra money, be like, yo, come,
that would be
come do
wild.
our place first. And you'd be like, yeah, these aren't firefighters that are like would work unless they're
No, but if this guy was saying like, hey, I don't think the government's doing that great of a job, like, then there's no real. But if he was sort of saying like, hey, we should take more money and give it to these people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then
about.
there's sort of like
I know
hypocrisy.
they found one tweet where he's essentially like, because he's a real estate guy and essentially like with depreciation for real estate, it's like he's able to like minimize his tax burden. They found one tweet of his like that, so then they were all dunking on him, being like, you don't even really pay that much taxes anyways. But yeah, there are private firefighters because this guy who owns a mall, this guy Jim Caruso or Rick Caruso, who ran for mayor, he has this whole like swanky mall, and he hired these private firefighters, and it's $2,000 a firefighter, but they show up with like these giant tankers full of water.
Yeah.
And he saved his whole mall and his house.
I didn't realize you could do that either. Why didn't the city just add them to the mix?
Probably don't have the budget for it.
I guess.
Yeah, they go, I mean, probably a firefighter makes $2,000 a week. Mm-hmm. And they go, these guys are $2,000 a day. And probably like, and then where do you deploy them? Like, dude, they'll look to be like, we're paying private firefighters to go save $5 million homes at $2,000 a fucking pop.
Sure.
Just like, let them burn. Just the optics.
I understand why it like pisses people off, but you're just like, well, people are allowed to hire people to do stuff. I don't know.
Absolutely they are. But I was, when he tweeted, I go, there's such a thing as a private firefighter, and because again, you think like 99% of the time they're not working at all. Like, what do those guys do the rest of the year?
Well, maybe they are. Maybe they get hired for all sorts of random shit.
Maybe they have like they do a bunch of different stuff, but
They just don't know.
yeah, you don't know. So I don't know.
Maybe they get hired a lot on film sets, for example. Like, hey, we're doing something where we're burning something.
We're blowing something up.
Maybe they have a lot of that kind of jobs.
Yeah.
And that's maybe why there's lots of them
But
in
I thought
LA.
you still hire regular ones, because like I remember when we did the movie, like, and we had like shooting guns and stuff, and then
Well, that's Canada, not Los Angeles.
Yeah, but we
had.
had to have all these police officers, and they're like, they're it's the same when they have events and they're all like police officers, but they're off the clock. Like, they're not off the clock, but they're not actually like technically on duty.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. I'm like,
well, I'll tell you, we had this one thing, and I was just gonna say, because to say what's been going on in LA. This is on Reddit, Los Angeles area 28. Nita, and this is in Goon Cave official subreddit for gooning in Los Angeles. Looking for a bro for weird short vids. I'm 28, came up with the idea for a blog, Disrespectful Dicks, where two dicks come and pee or on random objects that piss them off. No gay shit, just weird short vids, like Beavis and Butthead, but for dicks. If you're weird and down for shit like this, DM me.
yeah,
So this is the kind of
nothing
freaks-
gay about two dudes jacking off on like a Funko Pop they don't like, huh?
This is kind of freaks.
Just both just jacking off on this thing and go, this is
What's up,
really not
brother?
gay, huh?
How you doing? All right, yeah, great to see you. So obviously,
You just whip it out and let's just get to work.
not a paid project either, by the way. He's just looking for
No.
another bro that wants to show up and film them just pissing on some
They're
stuff.
bootstrapping this one. They're expecting you to go, there will be some money down the line, but for now it's,
Yeah, obviously, I'm just looking for another person to build the business with.
yeah, maybe we get some angel investors down the road, but for now we just need a proof of concept. So if you just want to come jack off on some stuff with me.
The Goon Cave subreddit we got to go through one day. When I was there, I found one more. Looking for the Goon King. Hey, Gooners. JJ.
This is JJ.
Hey, Gooners. Do you think you have the hottest gifts, the best plus or most arousing videos? I want to see the best to the worst of your collection. Do you believe you can impress me? So the Goon King's sitting back in his throne right now. being
I
like,
am the Goon King.
who has what it takes to dare to make the Goon King goon? People are fucking nuts right now.
Yeah, it's funny because there's probably like, this is the official Goon King Reddit, but there's probably like
That's another thing I've noticed that everyone's talking. Everyone's talking like a computer right now. Where if you think of, when you post something and they go, doing this is preposterous. No, they go, doing this is diabolical. Oh, saying this is crazy. You ever seen that comment?
Yeah.
You know the thing? It's like everyone's sort of using. I was even thinking of like most slangs. Like if you think of like Canadian slang, where fucking buddy's giving her, right?
Sure.
There's almost like a bit of irony to it all. Like even a lot of hip hop slang there was always like a tiny bit of like irony to the whole
little
thing.
fun.
It's a little fun, but also there's like a bit of an acknowledgement to I'm saying a thing that's been said before. I feel like a lot of people right now are carbon copies of like, they're just like fitting a carbon copy of a thing that exists, just becoming computer code with no acknowledgement to the fact that people have said these words in this exact same sequence thousands of times on the daily.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, some people like get all their opinions from just like tweets and memes, and they just regurgitate them without like, modifying them in any way. They just read them and they just go, this is...
Yeah, if one of your buddies like watched a podcast and then told you word for word something they heard, like they're just saying it, they would say, oh, I was actually watching this thing, this guy said this.
Exactly.
Or like you'd be like, a buddy of mine has a joke like this.
Sure.
They do it. I think there's something about this like new slang that has removed that part of it.
That's like the thing you ever...
Getting turned.
You ever had a thing
like
where
that is in like, I know, you're like, I know this has been said before, is there's irony in these...
Yeah.
subcultures, dialects.
Yeah, you ever had the thing
that does
where
not exist now?
Someone tells you, you go, you got to hear this story. You go, that was my story. I told you that. And you go, oh, what? Oh, man. I thought that happened.
I would just die of embarrassment.
Yeah, I thought that happened to me. Weird. That was my story. What do you mean?
Yeah, I told you that.
I did tell you that.
I'm sure we've had one of those. Where I'm like, did you hear that thing? And you're just like, yeah, that's for me. Or
Yeah. I mean, I've done that too.
Yeah.
Not recently.
Story, I don't think I've done with story.
No, I remember like in college. Like,
or maybe like, but I never would tell someone's story like it's my own, but I might say my buddy has a story. And you're like, yeah, that's me. I'm the buddy.
I'm the buddy. Oh, shit.
Okay, so this is probably, took us a while to get here. There's a French theater, and this is the headline.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it.
French leftist theater faces bankruptcy after opening its doors to 250 African migrants for a free show, and they refused to leave and remain in the building 5 weeks later. So...
Hey guys, I don't know if there's more of a theme to what's going on anywhere right now than it really does matter who you vote for. It matters.
Also,
I know sometimes it feels like it doesn't, but it does.
The answer's pretty simple. Put on some of your French plays. Like, I guarantee you, if I was an African migrant and I'm just like, oh, let's bust into this theater. Oh, good. We'll stay here, free shelter. And then, okay, welcome.
Bring in the mimes.
Welcome. Obviously, to start the day, we're going to have 12 hours of French plays.
Yeah, just like...
And then we're going to have a French improv troupe come on.
Oh, that's...
I don't do it.
Sir, it's not going well. Bring in the improvisers.
Bring in the improvisers.
Can I get a name?
Oh, oui.
Can we get the night them? Can we get the place? Can we get the night them? Everybody's like, I'm going back to fucking Africa.
I need a place and an item. Excuse me?
Croissant. Okay, very good.
That's what I'm saying. I can't think of any way to get them out quicker than just put your regular scheduled programming back
Here's the thing. You're a solutions guy. The thing is, in their heart, they don't want to do anything that puts these people back on the street. Right? Like, even if it is something like that, where it's like...
Well, they're worried about their image right
their
now.
Image.
I'm sure this French theater has been Julia Robertsing to the max.
Yeah,
they've been Roberts maxing.
They've been Roberts maxing? Julie maxing? For sure. They have. They're just stuck in this...
They're probably so Julia'd up.
Impossible situation where they're like...
Juilliard Roberts.
The only way they can go to sleep and feel better about themselves is if those people just leave on their own accord with nothing they did.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Like, they have to just willfully be like, that was a good time. See ya.
Well, the guy next door has like a bistro, and he's like, "This has killed my business."
Oh, I'm sure there's every restaurant in the area. They're like, "Yeah, this big theater is just like not operating anymore." You're like, "Yeah."
Not Gavin Macron, Emmanuel Macron. Yeah. He's been getting kind of hit because his wife's like old and beat.
She was his teacher when he was in elementary school.
We've talked about this. Everyone thinks she's a man.
Yeah.
But the man, if you ever watch her, she's like, because she was so much older than them, and she's like, kind of looks like a gremlin now.
Yeah,
right?
a little gremlin.
Yeah, she's like 70
Yeah,
probably.
she's old, yeah.
Yeah, she's normal for 70, but
Normal,
it is funny
totally.
when like, the husband's still like Newsom-y. So the husband's kind of like a svelte heartthrobby type.
Yeah, good looking dude.
And this woman's like a critter.
Critter.
Yeah. There's a video of people call it funny, like every like famous politician, they're calling his wife a man.
Yeah, I know. That's like the thing.
But there's one video where Emmanuel Macron's wife is like, wow, she's slithering around, and then she sits down and like man spreads fries.
She has the Al Bundy, just like
Yeah, she puts the hand in there. People are like, case closed.
Case closed. That's that.
But yeah, the French theater one's so funny because I can't think of anything that would be more torture for a bunch of African migrants than watching the mimes coming and pieing each other in the face. Can we get a volunteer?
Fake pies, not even real pies.
Fake pies in the
What
face.
is this shit?
Yeah, the mime.
I mean, that's the thing.
He's
though,
stopping racism with mimes.
they're all, I don't know where it was, but they're all from some French colony. So maybe they're like a little like, how do you like a little taste of your own medicine?
Exactly.
You colonized us. Now we're colonizing
your French theater.
How do you like that?
But when the conference was finished, the migrants who mainly came from France's former West African colonies, like Danny said, refused to leave the venue. And now they're going out of business. They don't know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is,
they need to send them to another improv theater. I think that's what they go, we actually found a better place for you. And they send them to like
nah, they're not buying that.
The people who did the, who's the people who did the Olympics? Like whatever theater did the Olympics.
Yeah.
Send them to those guys' theater. That's the only way. It's like when a Punisher's talking to you, you have to pawn him off on someone.
I think they'd have like an empty, like, because like for the Olympics, they build all this stuff that never gets used again. Because like, how many like...
Well, it's probably chained up. They're not going to let him in.
Yeah, they got to go put him in like the badminton.
These people are getting tested. These right now, you're watching like a meme of someone morph from liberal to Republican. Probably.
I know. No, they won't allow that because they know that's what everybody wants.
I know
that's what they want. They go,
no, they're just having a meltdown. They don't know what to do. It's like they're having it's literally the not in my backyard people experiencing what it's looking like in their backyard, and that is, that's hard on the brain.
It's
probably breaking them.
Yeah, for sure. But they won't allow it. They're going to be like, yeah, I guess we lose the theater and, we'll start a new theater. Like, we're not starting a new theater.
No.
And if we do, you're not working here. That's fucking for sure. Whoever genius idea it was to bring in 250 African migrants. Go get a job at a fucking cafe or some shit because you're not working here.
Let's talk about Zuck Bezos and Elon right now because it seems like the tech CEOs are really having a cool off.
Oh.
And since we did our sketch about Zuck, and he basically released the Rogan episode right after, and he's kind of said basically what we said. Yeah. Dude, he goes on there and he was just like, it's fucking too feminine and tech and everything like that. It's so funny to watch. Zuck, Bezos, and Elon are really having like, and this is what I told you. It's like the tech CEOs they're always kind of like late.
Elon's being a bit of a dork actually. He's kind of being the most dork out of all three with all this like fake video game stuff.
Fake video game stuff's wild.
Yeah, apparently he's like not the best video game player. And
he's like crazy.
Yeah, he's like hiring
I'll tell you
people
what,
to
Danny,
play for him.
It's giving. Finish that sentence. It's giving cheater.
Oh, cheater vibes. I mean, it's bizarre. You're like, you don't have enough. We're like on top of all.
I saw he's fighting with that guy Asmongold. He's like a video game player.
He took away his check mark.
That is so funny.
Posting his DMs and stuff with him.
Yeah, and he's kind of posting everywhere. What did I tell you when tech CEOs get into a culture? If you see tech guys, a lot of them on aggregate, and I like the tech pros. I got no problem with no problem with tech pros and finance pros. A hated group of guys, not by me.
No.
However, when on aggregate they really embrace a culture, that is on its way out.
Yes. Also, again, at heart, like these were the nerdiest people you went to elementary school with, and that's still like a formative part of their whole persona. So then when they're getting like, they start getting bullied a little on the internet, and they just regress to being like a 10-year-old getting bullied, and they're like very much like.
Do you think Elon's lying about being good at video games?
I mean,
yeah.
Johnny says yes. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, that's fucking hilarious.
I mean, it doesn't make like. Here's the thing: like LeBron James, for example, is I believe a top 100 Madden player, right? Like he is legitimately like
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
The fuck?
Yeah, he's like, but like he posts and everybody says like all he does is play Madden. Like he watches more game film of his Madden games than he watches of the NBA. Like he only does one thing when he's not playing basketball, and that's playing Madden. Like that's it. That's all he does. Whereas like
no, he reads the first page of a lot of books.
Sure, but like Elon Musk, you're like he's running all these companies. Like surely you don't have the time to.
That's what I thought. Oh yeah,
it doesn't seem the smell test. You know,
it doesn't.
Yeah,
but I guess his version of it is he's like, I'm just so much smarter than everyone. You don't understand.
Yeah, I guess. But you're like,
Johnny's not buying it.
You still got to.
Do you play that game?
There's people who play that 24/7 and like he's better than them, and it doesn't.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
You're as good as how much time you put in.
Yes, and it just doesn't make sense. You know, like that one, you just go, that doesn't check.
Dude, that's a fucking
Can't
wild
play an
law to
hour.
get busted on.
You can't play
though.
an hour or two a day and just be like, yeah, I'm the top guy in the world. You're not even trying to say like, hey, I'm top 100. Like even LeBron's not like I'm number 1. He's just like, yeah, I'm in the top 100 or something.
That's like I don't know. That's like top scandals. That's like finding out like a hot chick was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like a catfish.
Latex pulls off.
Yeah, it's a real
But
catfish.
it's one of these weird things where it's like, it's lying and you're like, for what? Like, are you not like, we get it. You're sick, man. like you got you're sending rockets into space. Like, I don't really care if you're good at video games. Like, you're doing all this cool stuff.
I think it's that Norm Macdonald joke where he just says a lie and then you go, then someone goes, have you seen this movie? And you go, yes. And
Yes.
you go, what am I lying about now?
Yeah, why? Yeah, why?
Yeah, but it's one of those where it's just like someone, he was in a scenario where someone's like, I'm really good at this video game. And someone's like, cool. He's like, I'm actually the best in the world.
Yeah, you go, really? And you go,
Yes.
fuck.
Yeah. Maybe
Fuck, I gotta do this whole thing now. I gotta go find the guy who's the best in the world and then have him live stream from my Twitter account.
probably that guy is drowning in NDAs. Hey, they probably have a whole warehouse full of those
paid out
NDAs.
the ass, though.
No, for sure.
That's probably making $5 million.
But he must be NDA'd so high.
I know, and the worst part for that guy is he is the best player, and he can't say he's the best player.
Oh fuck no.
He's just like you're like you can't even say you play this game. That's part of the NDA. You're like, what game? I've never heard of it. Was it like League of Legends or something? You're like, I don't.
That would be funny if Elon Musk stopped playing the game all of a sudden, and then not Elon Musk is number one.
Yeah.
Dude, that is I don't know the intricacies enough. Johnny says he does, and it's like doesn't make sense.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I bought a PlayStation like fucking 7 years ago or something because I was at a Leafs game.
Now, is Zuck even doing MMA?
That's a good question. It sounds like he is. But I bought a PlayStation because I was at a Leafs game and they had like a display and I was playing NHL. I was like, oh, this is pretty fun. So
Playing some chell.
So I bought a PlayStation 4 and I hadn't played video games in like 10 years. And I started playing like I did like the mode where you like learn how to play, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go play online. And I was playing like against 6-year-olds, and I like couldn't score a goal.
Okay, you're just getting
Like just destroyed by like children. And then at that point I was like, okay, for me to even like have any fun, I have to dedicate 20 hours a week to this.
Okay.
Not doing that, and that was it.
Yeah.
Right. So you're like, for Elon to and these are like way more advanced. Like it doesn't make sense.
You know what it does feel like? Remember our sketch Rehab for Bloggers?
Yeah.
It felt like there's rehab for Silicon Valley tech CEOs.
Kind of.
And they all kind of went there.
Again, is like coincidence that Trump is coming in and they're all of a sudden like, yeah, Trump is pretty based actually.
No, I don't think any of them really thought any of this stuff. Like I said, my theory is not that, these guys had change of heart. It's that they're sharks from the get-go.
Yeah.
The question is, do other CEOs seem a little more ideological?
Look.
Do any of them switch? Like, do you see Reid Hoffman be like, I'm into archery now?
Look, if being
Reid Hoffman looks like fucking Michael Moore.
if all of a sudden being racist is like getting you booked in movies in Hollywood, everybody's going to be racist. Okay, these people don't even know who they are.
No,
Like none
especially
of them-
Hollywood actors.
Like Hollywood actors have lost who they even are from like doing so much acting and like just being fake.
And they were already a little bit prone to that from the get-go. That's why they're
Absolutely.
good. That's why we're bad at acting, because we're such good humans.
Yeah, 'cause we
are
know who
such
we are.
connected humans.
Yeah, we're so
which is
connected.
why we're bad at acting.
Yeah, and they're good because they're just like con artists essentially, and so they're just like you go where the money is.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that I would love to see a CEO that wasn't about that life. Yeah, I guess Zuck wasn't about that life, but like, properly.
Yeah, like Reid Hoffman or something.
Yes, one of these CEOs that's, fully going the other way, and him coming out there being like Reid Hoffman puts on a chain. He just wears like
Like Rob Reiner starts doing MMA and stuff. You're like,
yeah, Rob Reiner's like, I'm a karate guy now.
Keith Olbermann.
Yeah, he's in Miami hanging out
Yeah, just on a yacht.
with Jean St. Pierre. Jacques St. Pierre.
Jacques.
Bannon's been really fucking going on. Bannon, he's been really going in on Elon. Like,
Oh
every day
yeah.
on
Well,
the-
he's
yeah,
saying
his
he's
war
like
room.
he bought.
He sort of did replace him a little bit if you think about it, though.
Who?
Well,
Zuck or Elon replaced Bannon.
kind of.
Yeah.
Bannon was sort of like Trump's like
Right-hand man.
guy that was in his ear. You know what I mean?
I mean, he takes credit for getting him elected the first time, kind of.
Well, I don't think
A lot
it's
of people
not
do that.
totally untrue.
No.
He had a hand in it.
Yeah.
And Bannon did his time too. Like
Yeah.
he is loyal.
Yeah, he is loyal.
And then I don't know a ton about Bannon, but I know that he was definitely involved. And then it does seem like Elon took Bannon's place a little bit, and Bannon's not feeling that.
No, and he's like, yeah, he's a Chinese plant and all this stuff, and he's like owned by the CCP. That's what he says about Elon.
Oh, he's on a rant about him.
Yeah.
He's like, he's the worst guy ever. He's like it does seem like Elon's talking too much.
Oh,
Because he sort of had it, you know?
no question.
He sort of had it. And
Less is more, Elon.
it is a little bit, but I guess the way he sees it is he's like, I have to keep talking because I need Twitter to be bumping.
Sure. I
Maybe.
mean, but again, you're like, people are, I'm sure some people are, I don't know what the net is of people who are like, I hate Twitter so much because Elon's my whole For You feed and I hate this guy. I guess you could block him.
Dude, that'd be a gay guy to be, is just like an Elon pro reply guy. I mean, being an Elon anti reply guy is gay too.
I mean,
like,
look, it being a Trump reply guy was
just
the
being like
gayest thing.
you tell him.
Yeah. I mean, being a Trump reply guy was the gayest thing, and just being
a reply guy stinks.
I mean, you're a Krasenstein at this point. It's just like Krasenstein
Right.
literally went from Trump reply guy to fucking
Okay,
Elon.
my point to you is, I think it's corny being a reply guy. Period. Of
course.
Being a pro reply guy edges it out for a little gayer.
Yeah.
Just because at least you're disagreeing in the replies if you hate them. Being a reply guy that's just like couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, mouthpiece. Yeah, it's like that.
Nailed it.
Was it like Looney Tunes? Remember where there was the big dog and the little dog? He goes,
You're that guy. Yeah. You tell him, boss. Yeah.
You tell him, boss. Yeah,
That's what we were saying. The joke we were making that I've tried to make this a joke on stage, but I've never really been able to. But the idea is that you do need women a little bit, or not a little bit. Like the idea is that the women will stand up for bad working conditions in a way that men won't.
Sure.
Whereas back in the day, it was just another guy being like, "Oh, I got my arm cut off. I'm back into work."
literally
and then,
just coughing and just cold.
yeah,
fucking
like
dust coming out.
and it was like a week of women working in the factory being like, "Hey, we're all dying. Can we, you know, like
can we get some air conditioners, some fans or
can we
something?
get water?" Is that you
Yeah.
kind of need that? But it was a little like that where
It's almost like they're
But we were saying
hardwired to complain better.
But we said it was Jimmy Fallon when he was yelling at it, because the reason he got in trouble is because women work there too. Whereas back in the day, like, you know, the people would come in and it would be all male writers and be like, "You fucking piece of shit." The guy would have a spit spraying in his face. "Sorry, Val, I'm right. I'll get right to that. It'll be better this day." You know?
Yeah.
Sorry,
and,
boss.
And weird because the shows were better. That was kind of the heyday.
You're saying that's what it needed.
I mean, this was the heydays of these shows,
Sure.
and now they're fucking absolute garbage slugs.
Well, you might say it was the heyday for profits in a factory when they were losing their fingers and couldn't do anything
good
about
point.
it.
Good valid point.
So, there's a balance to be struck.
Okay, fair enough. That is a good point.
Maybe the balance went too far the other way, but the balance
That is a fair point.
on aggregate needs a little bit of maybe
maybe a little more yelling.
a little, maybe a little more yelling, yeah. But it doesn't. You probably want to balance it the other way as well. But the idea was when Fallon was yelling at people, if it was just dudes, no, you wouldn't hear shit.
No, never. They'd just be like, yeah, he sometimes gets.
You definitely wouldn't have a guy in the writer's room being like to his boss, where he finally moved to New York or Los Angeles and he got this big writing gig on Fallon and he's finally doing it, and Fallon comes and yells at him and he stands up and he goes, "You can't speak to me like that."
Yeah,
you don't see a lot of that.
No, or like going to the other comics like that you hang out with and be like, "Can you believe Jimmy Fallon yells at me sometimes?" He goes, "Dude, you write for the Tonight Show. Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, you're not going to convince me you're a victim.
No, you're not getting sympathy from
Yeah, you
guys.
need a little gender dynamics getting involved to convince yourself you're the victim. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah.
Because you also need an attitude of like, you need to believe that anyone could do any job too. There's a bit of that where you're just like, I actually could do his job just as good.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's true.
Anyone could do anyone's job. He just happened to be the guy in that job.
Sure. Yeah, you just got lucky.
I could laugh. Look it. Ha 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 ha.
So the Rizzler.
Oh,
I could do that.
that's how Elon laughs.
Yeah.
That'd be a good competition. Is Silicon Valley's top laugher? I know that Elon Musk doesn't live in Silicon Valley anymore, but it's just like the two of them having a laugh. Zuck.
We never. Yeah, I don't think. Zuck, I think laughed a couple times on.
I don't know what
Dude, he
Bezos-
was on fucking Rogan dropping F-bombs and shit.
Bezos might be. I mean, Elon Musk is getting more shit done. That's for sure.
Oh,
and it seems like his space stuff's going to edge out Bezos.
Oh, for sure.
But Bezos is enjoying himself. That's for sure. He's on the yachts with fucking Caprio.
Dude, Elon Musk is going to literally have the world like wired like Wi-Fi for the entire planet in
Every day.
2 years.
Yeah. So Elon's
Every
getting more
square
done.
inch of the fucking planet is going to have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I guess.
And phone reception in like literally like probably 2
Yeah,
years.
whereas Thread sucks.
You hear that, Zuck? Threads blows.
I'm just gonna fucking back from behind it, puts me in a choke lock. It's not that bad. Sorry, Zuck. Sorry. I would stink to have to get beat up by Zuck.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
tapped out by
Get
Zuck.
tapped out. What'd you say about Threads?
Yeah, and then you go fucking. You know, he gets trained personally by Gordon Ryan.
Bezos' wife looks like every morning she wakes up and just has a pound of fucking plastic put on her face.
Oh yeah. She's
But she's probably 70, so I don't know how old she is. But she,
no, I think there's Tony Gonzalez.
I'll tell you
Dude,
what.
she snorts lines of collagen, just fucking ripping lines.
You know how people say it's like a trap when they have like a really hot chick, but like then she finds out she was trans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They like tricked.
Sure.
To trap.
Yeah.
And then that's why a lot of like football players flip out and kill them. I feel like that a little bit with girls that look like Bezos' wife, where I'm like, it is working. Where like technically, like that is all the stuff that I find hot.
Yeah.
Where it's like all of the parts that are sex appealing, you've like augmented. But like if I'm able to remove myself from that, where you tapped into my sexual energy, and I just look at you like a human, I'm like, this looks ridiculous. Right.
This looks ridiculous.
She looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if she catches you on the right thing, you're just like boobs and lips. Like it does get me. She maybe not her because she's fucking a little old for my taste.
Sure. I mean, she's got to be in her. I would guess she's like,
she's a bit up there.
She's got to be. 50.
But I'm saying that if it does sometimes tap into that, where I'm just like the dick's liking it, but the brain's fucking. This is silly.
I mean, she's basically like you go to a strip club and how old? She's 55, so she's a solid looking 55-year-old. But like
definitely
you go to a strip club, chicks want to give you like a lap dance, and you're like, she's kind of old, but she's like still got all this stuff.
Yeah.
But you go. I think she might be like 50.
I think they know how to talk to the dick.
Yeah.
Because the face ain't listening.
Well, no, the face is completely paralyzed from Botox. It just doesn't move at all.
Oh, you know what? Also, come see me on tour this weekend. I'm going to be in Minneapolis, going to Edmonton, Phoenix, Vancouver. And people, just to clarify, yes, it will be in Vancouver and Portland. It will be me and Danny, and we're doing two theaters.
Yes, sir.
And the Vancouver boys have been actually coming out. We're like more than halfway sold out, and it's a month away. I have two big-ass theaters.
Let's go.
Tacoma, Los Angeles, Irvine, San Jose. Los Angeles, if you lost your house, we're going to give you 20% off tickets. Tampa Bay.
I don't know if we could do that.
Salt Lake City.
Let's calm down, Ryan.
Denver, Atlanta, Baltimore, RyanLongComedy.com.
Yes, sir. Check me out in Edmonton, Vancouver, April, and May. And go subscribe to the Low Valley Mail YouTube channel.
Subscribe to Danny's channels, patreon.com/theboyscast. We're 100 away from doing another episode, so go over there. We've had a lot of new joiners. Well, it's been our line's been consistently up, but I think when we did our Christmas episode, a lot of people went and watched the Christmas episode, so we had a little bit of an influx.
There you go.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Drew Bear to the moon.
Peace.